This is a production of Hockey Night in Oswego, only on WTOP.
It's a beautiful November evening here in Oswego, and we're set for a great night of hockey. As tonight, the Oswego State Lakers will play host to the Potsdam Bears on Military Appreciation Night. And welcome inside the Moreno Campus Center Ice Arena and into Hockey Night in Oswego. Alongside me tonight are my partners, Michael Morano and Nick Ketter. I'm Brian Rudman as we get you set for a 7 o'clock puck drop tonight. We've got a ton to get to in the pregame show, so let's dive right in. As I mentioned in the open, it is Military Appreciation Night here in the Wheelhouse. And Mike, you got a chance to sit down with a veteran and talk about his time in service.
I did. I got to sit down with Curtis Cady, a member of WTOP 10. I got to ask him what was it like in his journey in the Armies and the Reserves, how he got to SUNY Oswego, and what it means to be a topper.
My name is Curtis Cady. I was active duty Army for 7 years and in the Reserves for 1 year, and I'm a graduate student in the Integrated and Social Media program. I literally left for basic training 2 weeks after I graduated high school in 2009. I ended up going to Fort Sill, spent some time at Fort Sill, went to Korea, then back to Fort Sill, then back to Korea, and then when I was getting out of or leaving the military, I was looking at colleges, and I got like a magazine that actually they gave me when I was out processing, and SUNY Oswego was on like the top 10 schools of communication in the country for veterans to go to. Everywhere I've gone in my life, I've kind of developed a family type of atmosphere with people where I have like just people that I can goof off with and, you know, have fun while also maintaining like a professional relationship, and I definitely have that here at WTOP, and that's honestly, that's one of the most important things to me.
And once again, I want to thank Curtis Cady for actually sitting down with me and giving me the time to explain his journey there. It does mean a lot to me.
Yeah, definitely an amazing journey for our good friend Curtis. Mike, what was it like to interview him and really get to know him?
It definitely gave me a different perspective of a life in the military here. I do have a brother in the Coast Guard, so it was nice to get a different view of someone in the Army, especially here. It did give me a great perspective, and it was a great learning experience too. It's not something I get to do every day when covering hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. He is the head engineer here. And he's not just, and Nick, you also know some people in the service. Can you talk about what it means for the military to be, recognized in situations like this?
Yeah, my grandpa I'm very close with served in the military for quite some time in Vietnam. I also have a friend in the Marines who's training to be a firefighter in the Marines. So, it's very cool to see the support that the Oswego community gives for our veterans and our service members now, and just to recognize these heroes and give them the recognition that they deserve.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we're going to talk about what went down here in the Wheelhouse last night in the whiteout game. All this and more. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. Once again, alongside Michael Morano and Nick Ketter, I'm Brian Rudman as we get you set for a 7 o'clock puck drop between the Oswego State Lakers and the Potsdam Bears. Now guys, let's dive right into what went down here in the Wheelhouse last night, as it was the Lakers taking a 3-0 victory over their arch-rival Plattsburgh Cardinals in the whiteout game. How were the Lakers able to get the job done last night?
Well, as you said, Brian, 3-0 win for the Lakers. 2 goals in the first, 1 in the second for the Lakers. That's all they would need. Anthony Pissarro got a goal to start things off. Carter Allen and Tyler Curry, 2 defensemen getting on the board. Great stuff on offense, even from those defensemen. A lot of good passing for the Lakers. Assists from Derek Brown, Josh Isaac, Jody Sullivan, Travis Groman, and Jeff Sulla. The Lakers really took advantage of a Plattsburgh team that's struggling to find their identity with a coaching change. Also, on the other end, David Richer, a shutout with 25 saves. Great vision in the third for him. Great stuff, great confidence going into the next game.
Yeah, now we're going to take a look at the stats from last night's game. Mike, what do these stats show you about how the game was played?
Well, it's interesting because Oswego in a win usually dominating the shot selection here, but we see they're outshot by Plattsburgh once again. 0-3 in the power play, nothing new from there. Oswego actually gave up 2 penalties, 30 seconds in both periods, in the first and the second, but they were able to adapt and kind of get quickly from that and move on from it. So good job by the Lakers. Kind of an unusual stat line, but nonetheless a win.
Absolutely. We're now going to send it down to our ringside reporter, James Catato. James, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Well, you talk about those recaps, and if you're an Oswego State Lakers hockey fan, it doesn't get much better than what you saw yesterday. A 3-0 dominant performance against those Plattsburgh Cardinals. and they made a statement yesterday, and now today they look to go into their second straight season of a clean sweep of whiteout weekend against the Potsdam Bears. Now the Bears coming into this one a record of 0-2-1, but don't let the numbers fool you. They were able to host Geneseo and get a point out of a tie, and we know how good that those Geneseo Knights can be. Something to watch out for tonight. Potsdam allows 108 shots so far this season, leading up to this point in Oswego. Very good in the scrums, very good in front of the net. That's what they thrive at. That's what they thrived at against Plattsburgh. So if Oswego's able to get in front of that net, make Potsdam a little uncomfortable, we could see another Oswego win and a clean sweep of whiteout for the second year in a row. Back to you guys.
Thanks, James. Great stuff as always. Now, coming into this game after such an emotional win last night, it may be hard for the Lakers to bring that same intensity and focus into tonight's game. This week, we sat down with Oswego State head coach Ed Gosick to get his thoughts on how the Lakers have to transition that focus into tonight's matchup.
Every game is of equal importance, whether you're playing, the bottom, some years the bottom team in your league or the top team in your league. We have to worry about ourselves, control ourselves. To try to keep that even keel.
Yeah, and it may be hard for Oswego to translate that same focus, but they weren't the only team in action as last night the Potsdam Bears fell to the Cortland Red Dragons 4-2. What happened to the Bears in that one?
Yeah, it seemed like you would think that'd be a little bit of a surprise here, but Cortland really did compete with Oswego late in that third period last time they met last week, so not really much of a surprise here. Both teams here, take a look at the game stats here. Potsdam just edging over with the shot selection here, and face-offs won, but it seemed like but the score column, it just wasn't the same here. 0 for 3, both on power plays. Potsdam only getting around 6 shots in total here, 3 in the first power play, 2 in the second, and only 1 on the last one. That's such a momentum killer as you're fighting an uphill battle mostly all game. To only get 1 shot on the last power play is really a morale killer, and it's really kind of tough. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of transfer that into this game.
Absolutely. Now, looking back at the history of this matchup, how have we seen these two teams compare in their last few meetings?
Well, if we take a look at the earliest game that we have here, Potsdam did actually get the win 1-0 as Oswego kind of broke down in that season, but then we could hope forward here as Nick's going to talk about the 5-2 victory.
Well, that was the last whiteout game, the 5-2 victory. Oswego dominated in shots. Josh Isaac had a hat trick in that game. Michael Gillespie and Max Novick on the board. A lot of great passing. A similar kind of offensive game that we saw from the Lakers last night happened last year in this whiteout game. So maybe the Lakers will be looking at that 5-2 victory to try to do the same thing.
And last game there, they won 3-2 on the road against Potsdam. Isaac again with another goal, but again, maybe the same kind of thing that Oswego's dealing with now. Had jumped out to a 3-0 lead, and Potsdam kind of fought its way back and made it a little more competitive at the end there. So really the same issue that Oswego was dealing with last year, again, this year.
Absolutely. Now, there may be some familiar faces on this Potsdam Bears roster, as there are a few transfers that came from the Lakers to the Bears. What can we expect out of them tonight?
Well, first off, we have Michael MacArthur. He played 1 game last year for the Lakers as a freshman. Not many stats for him. 1 shot recorded, but with Potsdam, he's played 2 games, recorded a shot and a penalty. He doesn't have the biggest stat line, but with Potsdam, he gets new lines, new players, and a new coaching style, so he's going to look to kind of revamp that college hockey career.
And maybe someone who actually kind of fit into the system right away here, Robert Clare. 2 goals, 7 shots, and 2 assists, getting a point in every game he's been a part of. A goal against Brockport, a goal against Cortland, and a point against Geneseo here in assists. It seems like he's thriving in a new atmosphere, and he actually may be a problem for Oswego today.
Yeah, definitely guys to keep an eye on tonight. And then Coach Gosick actually talked about their time at Oswego.
You don't recruit someone thinking they're not going to play. You don't recruit someone and thinking that, for whatever reason, it's not going to work out. But things happen. And they both felt that it was in their best interest to go to another program, along with some other guys, right? And here, it's hard.
Definitely a couple guys to keep an eye out on the ice tonight. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll take a look at the men between the pipes for the Lakers, and we'll take a look around the SUNYAC. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10 once again. Alongside Michael Morano and Nick Ketter, I'm Brian Rudman. Now looking at the men between the pipes for this Oswego State squad is coming into the season, it was a bit of a goalie competition. Nick, you got the chance this week to take a more in-depth look at the men between the pipes for the Lakers.
I did, and well, last season the Lakers posted a .907 save percentage. This season, the Laker goalies Cedric Hansen and David Richey aim to improve goaltending. Last season, Laker goalies combined for a .907 save percentage, leaving the starting spot open for competition.
Well, save percentage, right? I think we talked about it at the end of last year. You would prefer and need a goalie that's over 93 save percentage. Look at the goalies that were in the Final Four. And I think if you went back and looked at the last 10 years of all the goaltenders and the teams that were in the Final Four, you would see that their save percentage, right, were all over 93. Both of our goalies we have confidence in, but they weren't there. Well, bottom line is they need to be better.
Senior goalies David Richey and Cedric Hansen say they don't view it as a competition and they want to win any way they can.
We don't look at it so much as a competition. We're just trying to make our team better every day in practice, and really that's whoever at the end of the day gets the starts, that's who's going to play, and we just want each other to succeed at the end of the day.
Every game we got to show up, every game, give 100% every game.
Regardless, Whiteout Weekend is a golden opportunity to win the starting job.
Yeah, and it's no secret that good play between the pipes is a key for the team. It's going to be Cedric Hansen in there for the Lakers tonight. No David Richey, but last night it was David Richey pitching the shutout for the Lakers. How did he get the job done?
We definitely stepped up in a big-time moment. A lot of pressure here. 25 saves yesterday. That's his second whiteout shutout dating back to last year as well. .945 save percentage as well. So Richey coming into the season with a narrative is either him or Hansen getting it, and he really had to show up there, and he really deliver in a big-time spot. That's what the Lakers really needed for him. And like you said before, Richey not dressed for tonight. Kozakowski, the sophomore out of Liverpool, will be backing up Hansen for today. Hansen getting the start for today, giving Richey a little bit of a rest today. So a good job by Richey, really delivering in the top moment.
Yeah, now moving to the Suniac as a whole, what are we looking at today in the Suniac?
Well, today in the Suniac, you have Brockport at the top of the standings. Oswego sitting in second. Morrisville dropped down to third after their first matchup with the Brockport. But Geneseo, who was supposed to be at the top of the standings earlier this season, has found themselves in fourth.
And we take a look at the bottom here. Cortland moving up a little bit after the win against Potsdam. Potsdam lowering a little bit now, 0-2-1. Buffalo still at that bottom spot, and so is Fredonia, still looking for their first win in the Suniac.
And now there are obviously games tonight, aside from this one, that can shake up things. What can we expect, and what can we keep an eye on tonight in the Suniac?
Well, you look at the final there. Morrisville got a game up on Brockport. They split that weekend doubleheader. That's going to affect the Suniac standings also. You have another game tonight between Fredonia and Chatham. They're going to be looking for their first win.
Yeah, and then again, Plattsburgh currently leading Portland 3-0 here late in the third period. This is going to be a big win for them just to basically get off Oswego and kind of move forward. There are a lot of growing pains for Plattsburgh.
Absolutely. That's all the time we have on the perch here tonight. When we come back, Matt Watling and Luke Owens join us from the Steve Levy press box with your players to watch, followed by Puck Drop. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at the first intermission report. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10.
Shoots, he scores! And then Potsdam strikes on the power play.
Welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. Matt Watling joined alongside Luke Owens. Now, Luke, this is a Potsdam team that struggled last night. Who's your player to watch for them?
Yeah, it's got to be the senior for this Potsdam Bears team, Bryce Farrell. Last year, 24 games, 9 goals, 12 assists. He led the team in points with 21. He also has 4 career points against Oswego State. He's a dynamic scorer, one of the better scorers in the Suniac. So he'll have to have a big night tonight for Potsdam. And for Oswego State, it's forward Mitch Emerson, another senior this season so far. 2 games played, tied for the lead in points with 3, 2 assists, 1 goal. He just creates so much havoc in front of the net, and that's what they're going to need tonight. Some havoc in those second and third opportunities in front of the net.
And one guy that really excels in getting those second chance opportunities is Devin Panzica of Potsdam. That's my player to watch. He's a sophomore forward, had a goal against Oswego State last time these two teams played last year. He was 4th in the team in points last year as a freshman with 16, and he set the single season record in points per game back in the Eastern Hockey League Junior Hockey with 2.16. And now looking for the Lakers, Chris McMillan's my player to watch. The senior defenseman's finally healthy after about 2 years of injuries, battling injuries. Gosick said earlier in the season, he's one of their best defensemen for them prior to the injuries, and it really shows. He's a steady presence that allows a guy like Max Novick to jump up offensively for this team, and with that, he's just so important to this team in allowing Max Novick to do his thing offensively.
Yeah, these defensemen that can score offensively for Oswego State. But one thing I really like about this Potsdam team, along with the Cortland team, is they just return so much of their scores from last season. These are guys that have played together now for over a year. So the chemistry, it got going against Geneseo. So we'll see if they can get it going once again tonight.
Yeah, and having that chemistry is so important. You saw it for the Lakers, and you saw it not be there for Plattsburgh last night, where they had 12 freshmen, 10 of which dressed, and they couldn't do much with that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially with how many shots Oswego State's going to want to get up. Potsdam struggled last night, like you said, against Cortland. A great goaltender, Nick Modica. We'll see if Cedric Hansen can be strong tonight in net for the Lakers.
Yeah, and Hansen's so important. And you talk about the quality of competition he's faced. He hasn't faced top competition. He hasn't been the number 1 goaltender yet for the Lakers. But at the same time, everyone he's played against, he's played so well. And I think that's imperative. It's not fair to question the quality of competition he's faced, because he's answered every question you've ever had for him.
Yeah, and one thing I like about Cedric Hansen, he's a little bit smaller than David Riche, but he's just so good down in that butterfly. He's got such a quick glove as well. As you see the Lakers take the ice here, ready to go. And a big night for Cedric Hansen to not really prove himself, because we both agree he's a great goaltender.
And right now, of course, Plattsburgh State beating Cortland 3, or winning against Cortland, I should say, 3-0. That's so important for them to, hopefully, for the Plattsburgh State Cardinals fans, get their first win.
Yeah, and we mentioned just how tough Plattsburgh State's schedule was early on, facing Geneseo, Brockport, Oswego State, so they kind of right the ship tonight against Cortland.
And you talk about Brockport, they actually lost to Morrisville earlier today, and that's a surprising team in the Morrisville State Mustangs, leading the SUNYAC, I believe, now with their 3rd win of the season.
Yeah, and another interesting note, if Oswego State is able to come away with a win against Potsdam, they'll be the only undefeated team that has won every game, I should say. Geneseo hasn't lost, but they did have that tie against Potsdam, so Oswego State a chance to solidify themselves on top of the standings ahead of a big game against Brockport next weekend.
Yeah, and kind of just looking at this lineup for the Lakers, you got Mike Gillespie in on that 3rd line, and he looked really good last night, didn't he, Luke?
He did, especially defensively. I thought he did a great job getting back on defense, blocking shots, had a chance for a goal in front of the net he kind of whiffed on, but that's an opportunity he'll probably get again tonight. He's just so active in front of the net, and like Coach Gosick said to me this morning after morning skate, he played really smart, which is what they want. They don't want him getting in after the whistle.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break here on Hockey Night in Oswego. When we come back, puck drop between Lakers and Potsdam coming up next. Back to the Morano Campus Ice Arena, Matt Watling joined alongside Luke Owens, and of course that's former Master Sergeant Bruce Holman on Military Appreciation Night, dropping the ceremonial first puck alongside Josh Zyzik and captain for the Potsdam Bears, Vincent Guyman. So on this Military Appreciation Night, we'd like to thank all the servicemen and women for their service at home and abroad. Now looking at this Lakers team, they're most likely going to start Carson Vance there as Coach Gosick's talking to the referees. And really for the Lakers, this is one of those games that you have to avoid losing. It's really a trap game after the excitement and the energy against Plattsburgh State. But for the most part, that didn't feel like a rivalry game last night.
No, it didn't, especially the way that Oswego State dominated puck possession. They obviously dominated on the scoreboard as well. But this game, of course, is a big one, and I really don't think there's going to be much of, really, as you'd say, Plattsburgh hangover in this one. I think the players are ready to go. But another thing to watch, Matt, the first time Oswego State will be playing back-to-back tonight. It is early in the year, so you expect there to be fresh legs, but of course something to keep an eye on as this game progresses.
Yeah, and that could really be dangerous for a team if Potsdam can kind of get their legs under them and try to really push the Lakers, who haven't seemed to be pushed quite all that much in their first 2 games.
Yeah, but Potsdam did have to go a full 60 minutes against Cortland last night.
Yeah, and we saw Cortland last Friday. They really can fly as the faceoff is won by the Lakers, and Derek Brown fired in for Broman, knocked down by Venter for the Potsdam defense. Carrying is Joey Solalo as he hands it off for Brett Horn into the zone. Carter Allen on him as they bang into the boards. Tyler Curry looking to pick it up, but rather Brown for the Lakers. Back out in front, knocked down, and no call by the referee. And a surprising no call there, as it looked like it was Brett Horn knocked down on the play.
Yeah, Horn definitely looked like he slid right into the pads there of Cedric Hansen. Interesting note, of course, only 2 goaltenders dressed for Oswego State tonight, so imperative that Hansen stays healthy and stays on his toes.
Horn finds Nate Zweig up the ice, and he'll dump it in and go off for a line changes. Cedric Hansen plays it back for Carter Allen. Quick pass to Molinaro, touches in, and he'll look to establish that forecheck for the Lakers as they get their second line out there with Josh Zizek centering that one. Steals the puck off of a Potsdam forward, and Zizek goes to work on the forecheck. Tripped up, but no call once more, and he'll look to find Jody Sullivan behind the net. Jody Sullivan with it now along the boards. Board battle there alongside Joseph Richardson, and the Potsdam Bears win it momentarily. Potsdam losing the puck to Sullivan. Back of Molinaro, fans on a shot at the circle. Back out in front, and can't get much on that one, as Michael MacArthur, the former Laker, skates away with it into the other end. With it now is Ben Thomas. Hit by McMillan as Novik finds the puck. Stuck behind the net, but Molinaro will fire just to the point for Potsdam to reset. Ethan Clark with it now, looking for a lane. Shot deflected just wide as Molinaro looks to reset for the Lakers.
Yeah, great job there by Molinaro, just getting a stick in the lane there, avoiding the chance. And always good to see these teams in person to see what that speed's been like. And it looks like Potsdam's matching stride for stride.
The Lakers got a 2-on-1 here with Emerson. Emerson on his backhand, cuts, looking for the shot. Shot, save, rebound. Again, Emerson trying to get the goal, as it goes behind the net. And the Potsdam Bears look to ice the puck here with 18 minutes left to go in this first period. Now, Luke, what's important for this Potsdam team to win the game?
Yeah, keys to the game for Potsdam. First and foremost, they've got to stay out of the box. 22 penalties this year. That's 7.3 per game. That's got to go down. And second, they've got to right the ship. They tied Geneseo for an impressive start to the season, but then they've dropped 2 straight, obviously one against Cortland. And third, they've got to capitalize on their power play opportunities. They're 16.7% so far this year, but they're really solid, 23.2% last season.
Lakers win the draw, and Jeff Solo fired in for Tanner Spink of this third line. Knocked down by Ethan Clark. And looks like it's going to be the Potsdam Bears trying to reset up the ice. Jack Bloom fired in deep for Jeff Solo. Jeff Solo was behind his own net, harassed by a pair of Potsdam Bears, but instead the Lakers looked to clear, not quite past center ice, and a shot in front. A couple of jabs at it, but Hansen will close it up.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a scuffle there in front of the net early on, and with another stoppage in play, looks like the keys to the game for Oswego State. And of course, first and foremost, they've got to avoid that Plattsburgh hangover. A big 3-0 win last night, but still work to do tonight. And second, get that puck moving from defense to offense. Didn't do it particularly well yesterday, but we know this is a team that can get it going from defense to offense. And third, crash that net for those rebound opportunities. Didn't see a lot of second and third opportunities last night, but that could be huge going forward with those big bodies like Mitch Emerson and Derek Brown in front of the net.
Lakers win the draw and fire it down the ice as it's Pagluka touching up the puck for the Potsdam Bears. Ryan Leith looking to escape the zone, and he'll do so. Gets it up and over to Jack Bloom. Jack Bloom losing it to Vance, and he'll look to find an open Laker, but instead he'll find Ryan Leith once more, who will dump it in as Potsdam Bears go for a full sail line change. Vance looking for Carter Allen, can't quite find them, so instead it's Tyler Young who'll fire it back down, and Colton Fletcher on the puck for the Lakers. Flips it around for Carter Allen, who will spin around and look to exit the zone from Fletcher. Fletcher knocking up the boards just out of the zone. Back in, but Fletcher will have to escape once more. Fletcher with a 3-on-2. He's got LeBlanc as well. LeBlanc in the middle of the ice, backhands the one, and a lofty shot going over Pagluka. Not much there as an easy save is made.
Interesting start for both teams here, coming out a little bit slow, a little bit sloppy. Neither team really being able to set up on the offensive zone. I'd say both teams haven't really done what they've wanted to do on offense so far, and now Oswego State with the faceoff in the Potsdam end, see if they can get a set play going or something. Haven't had a lot of movement towards that net so far.
Pissarro loses the draw to Tyler Young as the Bears look to escape, and they do so against this ferocious forecheck for the Lakers. Tyler Young with it now, one hand on his stick, can't make a move past Novik, and the Lakers look to go the other way. Travis Broman one-on-one, cuts to the outside, looking at the middle, mini shot, save, rebound, covered up. And there's going to be a penalty, a holding, or a hook rather, on the Potsdam Bears, so this Lakers power play will get their first opportunity with 16:25 left to go in this first period.
Yeah, and that penalty really gets drawn with the speed of Travis Broman there, just cut down the sideline. It looked like that was Joseph Richardson, the junior defenseman, that's going to get tagged there. And once again, we get a look at this Oswego State power play unit. One thing that Coach Whitelaw said after morning skate today was, we want to get more shots. We've been too cute on that power play. Let's pump shots towards the goaltender.
And it looks like they're getting a slightly different look for the Lakers as Pissarro and Zizek, two centers on the ice alongside Broman, Vance, and Max Novik. So two defensemen on this unit. We saw that last night Not common in their season last year, but with Vance and Novik, two offensively gifted forwards, as Pesero fires a shot, or two offensively gifted defensemen, I should say, manning the point for the Lakers here as 15 seconds kick off the power play. Pesero with it now. Over to Vance, hesitates at the circle, shot, save, rebound. Zizik on that one, gets it back to Vance, who will try to reset. Vance for Novik, center point. Losing the puck, great forecheck by the Potsdam Bears, and they'll fire it in almost deep, but instead a good job by Pesero to get the puck. Zizik entering the zone, looking back for Vance, who can't get into the zone, still being offside. Lakers touch up.
A couple of really sloppy plays there. It started with Max Novik kind of just tipping it out, and then Josh Zizik, an uncharacteristic mistake for the Lakers, just can't really seem to get set up once again.
Cross-ice pass for Pesero, but he can't get it in deep, and instead another clear for the Potsdam Bears with just about a minute left to go in this power play.
First look at the Potsdam penalty kill. They've struggled a little bit so far this year, but right now it looks like they're doing a good job keeping that forecheck pressure up, especially in that neutral zone.
Yeah, active stick on Brown as he tried to enter the zone, but Colton Fletcher will pick it up here and circle back along the blue line. Back over for Curry, looking for Emerson in the slot, gets it to him. Fletcher with it now at the circle. Back across, no one home, and instead it's going to be Sean Winnickitz as he dumps the puck in for the Potsdam Bears.
Yeah, great job there. Winnickitz just using the stick and then flipping it down the ice. Potsdam gets a line change, and it's been a really good start for this Potsdam penalty kill. They've struggled, like I said, this season, but last year they were pretty solid, so a good start tonight.
Yeah, they really look aggressive as the Lakers try to get it back to the point, but Curry can't get there in time. And with 20 seconds left on this penalty for the Bears, the Lakers looking to find one last rush with the man advantage.
And already 6 minutes into this game, a penalty for Potsdam. I mean, one of my keys was stay out of the box. I mean, that's always a key, but this Potsdam team has been very sloppy. A lot of penalties so far this year, and already 6 minutes in the penalty.
Zizik battling alongside the boards, and it looks like it's Emerson there to help him as the power play expires for the Lakers. Getting back to the ice is Joseph Richardson. Potsdam looking to clear. Unable to do so as Emerson picks it up on an errant pass. Emerson fires a shot blocked. Gillespie picking up the rebound. Back out in front, no one home as Joey Solaro, looks to enter the zone for the Bears. And instead, the Bears will restart with Ethan Clark in his own end. Firing a stretch pass goes wide, so Curry will pick it up and knock it ahead for Sullivan. Curry picking it back up, entering the zone with some speed. Shot blocked, will go off the boards. Back out in front, nothing doing for the Lakers. Back out again, Zizik looking for Sullivan in the slot, can't find him. And Carter Allen will punch it in deep. Zizik with it now for Molinaro. Back out in front, looking for the tip with Sullivan, but he just couldn't get it. Back out for Molinaro. Shot, rebound, the heavy rebound, but instead it's a good job by Venter clearing that one for the Potsdam Bears.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed from Potsdam so far, they might not be the biggest defensive core, but they do a great job blocking shots. They're more than willing to go out there and sacrifice the body, and that really helps out in front of Pagluka, who's a talented goaltender, but again, didn't make a lot of starts last season, so still trying to get acclimated to that starting role.
Pesero entering the zone with some speed, 3-on-3. Working behind the net for Sullivan. Sullivan firing it back for Solo, Shot by Poundnick, deflected in front, can't get on net as the Potsdam Bears trying to escape, and they'll get to do so. Chance for a 3-on-2 the other way, but instead Charlie Poundnick will get the first stick on the puck as he makes his way into this lineup as the extra skater. Jeff Solo battling alongside them behind the net as well. Gets over Pesero, and he'll look to escape the zone. Look for Brown as he enters the blue line, has Broman alongside him as well. Back out in front, save, rebound, right there on a silver platter, but no one home for the Lakers as Pagluka is able to jump on the rebound.
Yeah, one of the best chances Oswego State has had so far. Broman and also Pesero right on the doorstep there, but Pagluka, a really athletic play, just kind of dove out there. We'll see here on the replay, that's probably the best rush the Lakers have had so far. Pesero, a really good lead pass to Brown, and then Brown kind of just floats it up there towards the front of the net. A big rebound, but Pesero just a step slow, trying to bang home that second chance.
And Broman on the wrong side of the goal in order to get that one home as well. It looked like he got a tip on that one on the Pesero shot. So a good rush for the Lakers as they look to sustain more zone time, as another deflection off of a Carter Allen shot just goes wide as Vance picking it up and just barely keeping it in momentarily as the Potsdam Bears are able to clear the zone. Colton Fletcher with it now, trying to evade a check, can't do so, as it's the Cardinals the other way. Ryan Leith dumping it in, and beating the icing was Bryce Farrell. A very good play by him, as the Potsdam Bears looking to get out in front. Can't quite find a stick on that one as the Lakers flip the other way. Venter fired back in deep with Ryan Leith as the D partner. Farrell back out for Leith, or Venter. Back down as the cycle game gets going for these Potsdam Bears. Haven't seen too much of it so far as Alfieri tries to get the puck. Instead, Scorpio escapes, and he's got LeBlanc and Fletcher on 3-on-2. towards the end of their shift as Scorpio just chipped it in for Fletcher. Finds LeBlanc on the other side of the wall as the Bears finally regain possession with Terranova firing a pass out. And a heavy hit by LeBlanc behind the play. Tanner Spink battling for it, gets it out, and now it's Emerson. He's got a step on his man, cuts the middle of the ice. Back over for Novak, shot, save, rebound. No one home, and the Potsdam Bears will clear at the length of the ice.
Good job by Pagluka there, and a good chance. I thought Emerson was going to shoot. He looked like he had a good opportunity in the slot, elected to go to Max Novak, and Novak kind of had a weird angle on that shot coming from, obviously, his left hand. It looked like Pagluka just cut off any opportunity that Novak would have had at the net there.
And with the icing, the referee's trying to force the Potsdam Bears, who were on that last shift, who were tired from that last shift, back onto the ice, do the icing. So for the Lakers, you've got to get your top unit out here. And instead, they'll send out their third line of Gillespie, Emerson, and Spink, a really talented line at that, trying to get the Lakers on the board here with 11:20 to go in this first period. Lakers lose the draw, but their forecheck picks it up for them as it's Tanner Spink battling along behind the net. As it's Potsdam Bears, Jack Bloom able to clear the zone, and Bryce Farrell chasing that one down. He's got Stephen McMillan. Slap shot just goes wide, and all the way over for, almost for Emerson. But instead, Spink plays that one to him, and the puck soars out of play right below us with about 11:01 to go in this first period. No score, but the Lakers early on seem to have a couple steps from the Potsdam Bears.
Yeah, they do seem to have a couple steps. They've been quicker than Potsdam, just not quick as they want to be to the puck. I could have been a little bit quicker to that puck, landed right under us. You know, I should have been a little bit quicker, reach down, maybe snag one, take a souvenir home, but unfortunately a missed opportunity there for me in the booth.
You know, you got to play a full 60, gotta cash in those opportunities. Look, you just didn't do it.
Yeah, you know, the pace of play has been a little bit lulled, so maybe it kind of, you know, I got to be on my toes up here.
Well, certainly as the Potsdam Bears win the faceoff, but Tyler Curry batting at it, just able to exit. Could have been a dangerous play if the Potsdam Bears could recover that one. As Sullivan trying to get a step on his man, unable to do so as the Potsdam Bears force behind the net. Sullivan back out for Curry at the point. Hesitates for Sullivan, shot, save, rebound. It looked like it might have went off Emerson in front of the net. But the Potsdam Bears were able to clear the puck with Brett Horn carrying that one through. Jeff Solo knocks it off him trying to enter the zone. Unable to do so, but stands up his man at the blue line. And the Lakers look to reset. Emerson, or Molinaro, excuse me, looking to control the puck, can't do so. Instead, Salao looking to go the other way. Zizek with it now. Drop pass for Sullivan in the slot. Shot just goes wide. Zizek picking it back up for Molinaro. Can't handle that one as Jack Bloom knocks him down, or Brett Horn, excuse me. And the other way goes Nate Zweig. Nate Zweig carrying the puck. Doesn't have anyone with him, but loses the puck to Jeff Solo, who looks to turn it up the other way for the Lakers. Knocked down by Zweig, but no call there, as he picks back up the puck for the Potsdam Bears. Front pass out for MacArthur, 1-on-1, shot blocked, rebound. MacArthur fighting for it, but a good job by Curry staying in front. And back out in front, no one home for the Bears. And again, another good chance, but a good job by Derek Brown to clear the zone. And Pissarro dumping that one beyond the blue line.
Yeah, the Lakers really sloppy in their own defensive zone. They're looking at Tyler Curry and Derek Brown both kind of got turned around, didn't know where the puck was, and it leaked down in front, but luckily no one able to tap it home for the Bears.
Back the other way with now MacArthur in his own end. Try and find Broman instead, and Carter Allen with a chance. A great diving play by Vincent Guyman, the captain of this team. But one of the captains, Pissarro, gets it into the slot, shot, save, rebound. Back to the half wall, and Broman goes to work. Shot by Vance just goes wide, or a save by Pagluka. And on that one is Emerson. Back for Vance. Shot. And a goal! Travis Broman in front of the crease tips in Vance's first shot of the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's going to lead the handshake line. I believe it's going to be Carson Vance, and this could be his first goal as a Laker. We'll have to take a look on the replay. Broman, the second guy there, we'll see on the replay if he deflected. Vance took this shot, might have gotten deflected in front. We'll have to wait for an official ruling, but yeah, it looks right there like Broman might have gotten it, but either way, 1-0 Lakers, and that's a big goal because Potsdam really has come out. They've matched the pace. Oswego had their chances, but weren't able to put one in, and right there, kind of just a shot from the point. Good screening out in front, nonetheless, by Broman. And Carson Vance looks like he might have his first goal as a Laker.
Yeah, really impressive shot. That's kind of the prototypical play you'd expect from Vance, using his skating ability to find the open shooting lane, being able to use his really great angles and cut side to side in the crease, or in the blue line, I should say. Finally got shot up high. And the first goal would be by Carson Vance. So Carson Vance getting his first goal of his D3 career with the Lakers. And a really impressive one by that, as the Lakers take another penalty here with 8:30 to go. waiting for the touch-up are the referees as Potsdam picks it up and just barely missing the zone. They'll go offside, which forces the Lakers to go to the box.
Yeah, and kind of just going back to Carson Vance, as the Lakers will go on the penalty kill with the penalty from Colton Fletcher. But Vance, it seemed like a matter of time before he was going to get on the board. He's done everything right. It just seemed like, he was just trying to get into that box score, and obviously they're able to find the back of the net. Now the 17th Laker player with a point this season, so they've been very spread out through their 4 lines, and now their top line defenseman, the D1 transfer Carson Vance, with his first point as a Laker.
It was only a matter of time because he's looked so good in now this 3rd game with the Lakers. A team that really was excited to bring him on from Western Michigan as the Potsdam Bears power play looks to set up shop. And a whistle called. Looks like it's going to be an offside, as it was Joseph Richardson who couldn't keep it in the zone for the Potsdam Bears with 1:45 left to go on this power play for the Bears. And this is a power play that hasn't necessarily looked too good. So far, they're 2 for 12 on the season, 16.7%. But again, it's so early on, it's kind of hard to tell how good these power plays are.
Yeah, and it's also going to be interesting to see if Potsdam can get some shots off, see how Cedric Hansen, looks early on in this one. Hasn't really been tested much at all so far through about a little over halfway through this first period.
Tanner Spink up in the forecheck for the Lakers, but Joseph Richardson comes away with it, looking to escape the zone. Luke for Winniakits, as Potsdam looks to go the other way with it now. Winniakits entering the zone with some speed here. Max Novak trying to shrug him off, but instead Spink, will jump on him as McMillan tries to pick it up. Back to the point for Richardson. Shot goes wide, and it's Brett Horn on the rebound. Back out for the point shot save, just goes wide. And Emerson looks to clear the zone, and he'll do so with about a minute left to go on this power play for the Potsdam Bears.
Yeah, there's a reason why this penalty kill unit has been perfect for the Lakers. 6 for 6 so far this season. They're just so aggressive, and maybe that aggressiveness can lead to some confusion from the net at times, but they've been perfect so far, and a really good job on that forecheck, and now we'll see if Vance can clear the zone once again.
Vance leaving it for Emerson, or Molinaro. A stretch pass for Gillespie, but a great job by, it looked like Nate Zweig to knock it down now behind the net. Potsdam back out with it is Tyler Young, leaving it for Bryce Farrell. And behind the net, the Potsdam Bears have it. Looking to come out in front. A good job by Carter Allen to keep it behind the net as Potsdam comes away with it. Back out in front, a great job by Molinaro to clear the zone for the Lakers.
Yeah, I think if you're Thomas Terran over there, the defenseman kind of running point here, you want that puck back. You want to be able to keep it in the zone. Now the Lakers with a break, possibly.
Almost a breakaway. Sorry, Luke, for Gillespie, but just couldn't quite get the stick on it as Pagluka plays it out to Farrell. LeBlanc on the forecheck as well, but instead Tyler Young comes away with it, and they've got a chance as this power play expires for the Lakers. Farrell will chip it in behind the net. Jeff Solo on that one first, and Miller can flip the ice for the Lakers. Chipping off the boards is Solo, getting over Fletcher. There's a 3-on-2 with Solo. He gets Scorpio, shot, save, rebound off of Solo's shoulder and into the corner boards.
That was a great run there by Solo, going defense to offense. Like I said before the game, the Lakers do that so well, and Jeff Solo, another one of those guys that just turned on the Jets and almost got an opportunity for a deflection in front.
Brett Horn enters the zone for Potsdam, cross-ice pass over for Panzico. Now behind the net for Horn. Eludes it, and Panzico will pick it up. Trying to get to the point, can't do so as Brett Horn will pick it up once more. Fletcher with it now, looking to escape the zone, unable to do so momentarily as Panzica picks it back up, but Fletcher takes that one off him. And LeBlanc will reset for the Lakers here with about 5:45 left to go. Fletcher knocking down the length of the ice.
Just really sloppy within their own zone for Oswego State so far. Really tough time exiting, and they've kind of put some juicy passes in front of the net. They have to avoid those because you don't want to have that little cheap goal to tie the game up. If you're Oswego State, you want to go in the locker room at least up 1, possibly up 2 if they get an offensive rush going.
Missed opportunity there for the Lakers as they try to enter the zone back to the way as Potsdam, but Michura will just fire it back in deep, and Derek Brown on that one after a shot goes wide of the net. For Travis Broman in the neutral zone, regaining control of the puck momentarily, no speed, try to get it in deep, but can't do so. And it looks like we're going to stop and play as it goes into the Potsdam bench. We're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, James Catato, for what he's seen so far in this first period.
Thanks, guys. A couple of key takeaways here so far in the first period. As we see the Bears hanging tough, it's been really physical up to this point, and that's why a lot of people consider the SUNYAC to be one of the best conferences in Division III hockey. But as we saw from the Lakers, Carson Vance being able to crowd that net. We talk about the fact that Potsdam going into this game allowed 108 shots on frame, and the Lakers crowding that net, taking advantage of the rebounds. Now they're up 1-0. Back to you guys.
And the Lakers doing such a great job getting in front of the net, as James said, as Jody Sullivan enters the zone, stops and looking for Carson Vance. Instead, he'll take it himself. just getting it to Vance a little too late as Vance is forced to throw it in behind the net for Molinaro. Molinaro battling alongside Richardson, and Pagluca will come away with it from behind the net.
Yeah, I know it's kind of one of those almost lazy narratives to call it a Plattsburgh hangover. I don't really think that's what it is. I think the Lakers just maybe coming out a step slower than they expected, but also this Potsdam teams have been a little bit more physical. They've been willing to go in there, block shots, be heavy on the forecheck, and they've done a good job keeping the Lakers out of good scoring opportunities.
Yeah, most definitely. And for the Lakers, despite the sloppy play kind of through the neutral zone in your own end, you haven't given up a goal just yet.
Yeah, and still up 1-0, and Gillespie really had a nice chance on a breakaway for a second.
Allen's shot just goes wide off the glass behind the net. And it's Emerson on that one. Gillespie punching in for Spink. As he circles back behind the Potsdam net, losing his stick was Terranova, as Potsdam Bears are able to escape the zone. Farrell with it now through the neutral zone, 3-on-3. Entering the zone with some speed, a great job by him. Back out in front, and Hansen deflects one just wide, as it's Ethan Clark at the half wall. Firing shot back around, and the Lakers regain possession, and Spink has Gillespie in front, but instead he'll pick it up himself and look to enter the zone 3-on-3. Tanner Spink holds up, and he'll fire it back around for Gillespie at the off wall, and leaves for Carter Allen. Shot just goes wide, and Mitch Emerson will be back on that puck. Battling alongside Robert Clare, the former Laker, who dishes it off for Terranova, his D-man. Gillespie with it now as off an interception. Looking for an open man, can't find him as Terranova looking to escape the zone. Vance picking it up, shot blocked by Ethan Clark. And a good job by Carter Allen to almost fire that one in deep, but instead Robert Clare comes away with it now. Robert Clare dumping it in and up and out of play. And a nice catch by the fan right there. Two hands, puck secured is job secured, I should say, Luke.
It sure is, and a nice little round of applause there. Well-deserved on the nice snag, but on that last defensive effort there, that was Ethan Clark, the sophomore. Great job blocking it, trying to go to offense, and Clark's been one of those guys that's been willing to kind of get in there on that third pairing of defense, but showing that he belongs in this lineup, blocking shots, and a really good job there to deny Gillespie.
Lakers entering the zone is Joey Scorpio. He's got Fletcher along with him as they try to battle in, and pass by Potsdam back from McMillan, who finds it over for Novick. Novick hesitates, back out shot, save rebound, looking for it is Fletcher, and he'll pick it up as he's battling with Ryan Leith. Leith gets his stick in on Fletcher, but no call there, as Lakers will fire it back in for LeBlanc. LeBlanc now with it now, tucking it back for Scorpio, but instead Ryan Leith will come away with it. Interception by McMillan. Cuts in below the goal line, back out for Scorpio, excuse me. And he'll chip it back in for Novick once more. He's got Fletcher at the point and finds him. Heavy shot there, just goes wide. Roman on that one at the corner boards. Roman now back out for Fletcher. Has to hesitate, shot scores! Colton Fletcher with the beauty from the high slot.
Yeah, Colton Fletcher there did a great job, and one thing that it's almost hard to notice was Travis Broman got almost a sneaky little line change, as we'll see on the replay, but it was Colton Fletcher who got it going here in the high slot, just turns and fires, water bottle almost off the net there, bar down, up top where Mama hides the cookies, 2-0 Lakers with just under 3 minutes to go in this first period.
For Pagluca, that might be a goal you want back, but at the same time, you look at Fletcher, has his back turned, almost hiding the puck from Pagluca, and when you fire a shot off that quickly and that high, right by the shoulder of the goalie, it's so hard to make those stops.
And now that's been 2 goals from the Lakers that came from the point. They weren't deflected, but just so much traffic in front of Pagluca where he really couldn't see that puck, and obviously Vance and now Fletcher, have done a great job just putting that where Pagluca can't get to it.
And very uncharacteristic for Pagluca. He's a 6'4" goaltender, so he's got a lot of size to him. Couldn't quite make the save, and Roman gets a chance as he's flying around on the ice now for Poundnick at center point. Shot just goes wide. Looks like it was deflected by what appeared to be Sean Winniakins, as we get a stoppage in play here with 2:14 left to go in this first period.
Yeah, interesting mention, of course, he said Pagluca standing at 6'4". It's really, you can't get beat up top there if you're Pagluca. I know there was a lot of screening in front of the net, but that's a shot that you want to be able to get a glove on, or at least be in a good position to see it. It looked like he didn't even see that puck before it was by him and in the back of the net.
And he seems so quick to drop down into that butterfly position. And to me, that's kind of a sign that he doesn't necessarily trust his defense all that much, dropping in that kind of desperation mode that a goaltender usually has.
Yeah, and Potsdam, has done a great job blocking shots, but there comes a point where you're almost screening your own goaltender, and that's going to be a penalty coming up against Oswego State. Just a lot of action in front of the boards, and that's going to be Captain Josh Zizek going. Might have been a boarding call there.
Yeah, it looked like it was a board against Jack Bloom. So Potsdam once more going to the power play, and with 2 minutes left here in this first period, they really want to generate some offense and try to get a goal to pull it within 1.
Yeah, and Potsdam usually the team that finds themselves in the box, but it's been the Lakers 2 times now on the penalty kill, and we'll see if they can remain perfect on the season. Of course, Carson Vance and Carter Allen, the 2 guys to watch here on the defensive end.
Nate Swag out there with Claire Young, Terranova, and Clark as well, as it's Terranova with it here. Hesitates, shot, just goes wide, and Bryce Terrell looking to pick it up, and he'll get to do so. Terrell losing it to the Lakers, and they'll dump the puck in and look to go off for a line change.
Yeah, great job by Oswego State containing Bryce Farrell, one of the more talented skaters and also a big forward for Potsdam. The Lakers have done a great job kind of pinning him towards those half walls, not allowing him to get in space.
Back at looking for Farrell was Terranova, but instead it's soared up and into the penalty box for the Potsdam Bears. So it looks like there might be a face-off here between the Lakers and the Potsdam Bears inside the Lakers zone, despite it going out of play.
Yeah, interesting to see how the Lakers, they're going to bring out Solo now and Curry on defense, a pairing that we didn't see obviously in the preseason because with Vance out, it was Curry and Allen. So it's interesting to see how Curry and Solo work together now in their 3rd game of the regular season.
Yeah, 2 guys that are very offensively gifted, but again, Coach Gosek preaches that 200-foot game, and clearly they're showing it so far, especially after last night's shutout of Plattsburgh, as the Potsdam Bears reset in their own zone. Joseph Richardson with it now, looking for Winiakitz, and he'll find him. Jumping in deep for Emerson. In there with the board battle as well is Brett Horn. Gets it back for his teammate in Richardson. He'll try to find a pass, but instead the Lakers intercept and look to go the other way with it now. Emerson, he's got Spink and Curry alongside him with 1 minute left to go in this period. Emerson has no problem battling on the boards, trying to knock time off his power play for the Potsdam Bears. 4 Bears surround him, and they finally get off as Panzico looks for Richardson and finds him as the Potsdam Bears look to reset with 45 to go.
I think if you're Potsdam, you need a little bit more urgency here. 38 seconds now remaining on this power play, and they really haven't gotten any shots in the direction of Hanson. Curry already 2 blocks on this shift.
Panzica behind the net. Richardson calling for instead, shot save, and a great one by Cedric Hanson on Bryce Farrell.
Yeah, first time we really get to see Hanson out in action, and a good job there. Moving so quick in that butterfly. He's so quick in between the pipes. One thing that I really like about Cedric Hanson is just, he's a smaller goaltender, but he's real quick. A great job there getting over to make the save. And if you're the Lakers, you can't have those chances right in front of the net. I mean, it was point blank right in front of Hanson, but again, a good job by Hanson, really in his first real action tonight.
Gillespie winning the draw for the Lakers. Carter Allen trying to fire it away. Can't do so as Gillespie chops at it, but instead Terranova picks it up for the Potsdam Bears with 20 to go in this power play and in this first period. Looking for it is Terranova. Hesitates, shot, goes wide, or blocked rather, and almost a chance for Farrell if he could have been a couple steps behind him. Potsdam Bears, and now it's Robert Clare behind the net. With 5 seconds left, the Lakers trying to just escape with a lead, and they will be able to do so as the power play is over and the first period is over. The Lakers lead the Potsdam Bears 2-0.
Yeah, really good job there, I thought, by Mike Gillespie. He was kind of being the guy that was chasing at the point, puck chasing, not allowing Potsdam to get any good passes down low. And again, 2 for 2 on the penalty kill and 2-0 on the scoreboard. You have to be happy for Coach Gosek. A little bit of a slow start, picked up towards the end, and the Lakers lead 2-0.
Yeah, for the Lakers, despite not necessarily playing your best 20 minutes of play, limiting to Potsdam to just 3 unofficial shots on net, and that's so important. But again, you haven't seen Hanson face that many shots. I think he's faced less than 10 in his 2 periods of exhibition, and now this first one of real play. And for me, he's been pretty solid throughout the entire season. Today, really only 1 grade A save so far.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes going forward, if he'll get more chances. But again, what you want for the Lakers, not to have your goaltenders face too many shots.
Right, and on the other side, you look at Pagluka, a goaltender that we expected to be a little bit stronger than he actually has been. And we're going to take a quick break here on Hockey Night in Oswego. When we come back, Brian Rudman, Nick Ketter, and Mike Morano will have the first intermission report only on WTOP 10.
And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the first intermission report right here on WTOP 10 as it's the Oswego State Lakers leading the Potsdam Bears 2-0. Once again, alongside Michael Morano and Nick Ketter, I'm Brian Rudman. This is the first intermission report. And it was that Oswego State offense getting going, especially in the second half of the first period. What did you see out of the Lakers on the offensive side?
Well, a great goal to kick things off. Carson Vance gets the goal on this one. He's been doing pretty much everything for the Lakers all around. Finally gets that goal. A great shot from the blue line. And another goal there from Colton Fletcher. Also just turning and shooting and creating some confusion for Michael Pagluka.
Yeah. What was the key for the Lakers on the offensive side here? What did you see that really allowed them to get the offense going?
They had a very aggressive going into a little bit of a slow start for the Lakers in the beginning here, but they were getting the screen that created a lot of traffic in front there, allowing Fletcher and allowing Vance to kind of get those goals early there and jumping into this big lead. They've been dominating offensively and dominating the amount of puck possession that they've had.
And now looking at the period summary, what have these stats shown you about how this game's been played so far?
Well, the Lakers have been playing very well. They're dominating in the shot category, 14-4 on power plays. They still haven't been able to get it done, but they've been very good on the penalty kill, not allowing Potsdam to get any power play goals there. Faceoffs have been heavily in the Lakers' favor, and that resulted in 2 goals.
Yeah, nothing really too surprising there as we saw before. I mean, last game against Plattsburgh, we saw they weren't really dominating as much at shot selection as they'd like. So now seeing that now, getting back into their kind of old form a little bit there, and definitely dominating those faceoffs. You want to dominate those faceoffs because the more faceoffs you win, obviously the more possession that you have. And if you're Oswego, you need to create make a lot of pressure not to be on Hansen as much. So good job on the faceoffs, and they have to carry this over to the second period.
Yeah, you talked about controlling the faceoffs, really allowing Oswego to control the possession. How important is it for Oswego to control the pace of this game?
Well, this game has been kind of wild early. Neither team was able to really control the puck in the beginning of the game, but the Lakers kind of calmed down and just started to dictate the pace of this game. They're screening the net. They're getting goals that way. They're kind of passing the puck a little bit too much for my liking, but with the screener in front shooting on Michael Pagluka, that's going to make him uncomfortable. That leads to some goals. So the Lakers just got to clean up that passing a little bit.
Yeah, it's very important to get these faceoffs out because we see you need to have as big as a lead as possible getting late in the game, and because we see Oswego kind of break down late in the third period there. So if you're able to get as many shots on, win as many faceoffs as you can, and get as many goals on the board, it creates a lot less tension heading as time's winding down this game.
Absolutely. Now, this has been a physical game so far. We've seen a ton of big hits, but physicality can be an asset for a team when they use it the right way. When we sat down with Coach Gosick this week, he talked about how he wants his team to be physical.
They play a hard-nosed game. They play tough. They compete for loose pucks. They're gritty. Same way that we want to play. But to your point, we can't control Potsdam, we can't control Plattsburgh, we can't control any of our opponents. All we can control is ourselves.
He talked about how gritty of a team Potsdam is. What do we need to see from the Lakers in order to do what Potsdam's done well?
Well, it was a lot different than last night for the Lakers. They came out against this Potsdam team, and Potsdam hit them right in the mouth. They came right at them, playing aggressive. They're getting sticks in the way. They're disrupting passes. It was a lot more difficult for the Lakers to control the puck, especially with those hits. Along the boards, the Lakers are not getting anything easy. As we take a look here, Cedric Hansen's got guys flying into the crease and causing havoc. There's big hits. It's just kind of a wild game, and neither team was able to get control early, as I said before, and a lot of that has to do with the physicality.
Well, if you're Oswego, it's also a great sign to know that Potsdam is a gritty team, and knowing this going into this, it's a great mindset to have, to come out and kind of come in, kind of show them that you can be physical back there, because if you kind of let up there, Potsdam's going to kind of come up there and kind of toss you guys around.
Yeah, and how important is physicality, especially on the defensive side, keeping the pucks away from Cedric Hansen?
Well, this game is all about keeping the puck away from Cedric Hansen. You have to make this game as easy as you can for him. Riche not getting the start tonight. You got to make this game easy for Cedric Hansen, and by playing physically, that's something that the Lakers have done well all year, even into the exhibition games, and they have proven that they can wear teams down with that physicality deep into games. So I'd expect more physicality from the Lakers, and maybe Potsdam to wane off a little bit and kind of get worn down by this Lakers attack.
It's really a narrative that they decided to have early in the season, and they want to run with it. And if you want to be physical, if this is what your team is based around, then go with it. And now I think Roman's really kind of leading this charge, which is a really good sign heading into next season as well.
Yeah, now looking around the SUNYAC, we have some game updates for you today. Plattsburgh gone final 4-1 over the Cortland Red Dragons, and Geneseo right now leading 3-0 over Canton. That game's still going on. What do these games mean for the Lakers in terms of the SUNYAC standings?
Well, I mean, you said Geneseo with the lead there, but Geneseo's trying to get back up high into the SUNYACs, and they're not in a place where they want to be right now, sitting in fourth. So a win for them would be really big. That's something that I'm looking for if I'm the Lakers, because you have Geneseo coming up on that schedule. If they have any type of momentum, that's going to be a really tough and hard-fought game for the Lakers.
Yeah, Mike, what about Plattsburgh? How important was it for them to get their first SUNYAC win today?
It's actually a great sign, losing on the road against Oswego and a team that's going through so many changes as of right now. You need that first win. That first win is really kind of the hardest to pick up, and then you kind of get into a rhythm, and that's what they wanted to get. They wanted to get into some type of rhythm here, so if they could start and win now, rise up in the SUNYACs and grow a little more comfortable as the season goes on.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, don't go anywhere. We'll have more first intermission report for you. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the first intermission report right here on WTOP 10 as it's the Lakers up 2-0 on the Potsdam Bears. Once again, Michael Morano and Nick Ketter. I'm Brian Rudman. And guys, we talked about in the pregame show how important this Lakers team needed their goalies to come up huge. And so far, Hansen's been doing a good job tonight.
Yeah, I could agree. I don't know if Hansen has faced too many challenges so far in this first period there, but definitely filling in a great role so far. Obviously keeping this game shut out there as we have a couple of saves from Hansen. When Potsdam was threatening here, Hansen was able to kind of swallow up this puck and just be able to eliminate any second chance opportunities for Potsdam. But like I said before, Potsdam hasn't had any really threatening opportunities so far. So I'd like to see Hansen possibly get tested a little more in the second half.
Yeah, now looking at what Hansen versus Richer, because Richer's played rather well early in the season, but coming into the season, we talked about how there was a little bit of goalie competition. Could Hansen take over that starting spot for Oswego?
Well, I'd like to see a little more from Hansen here, but compared to Richer last night looked like he was a little panicked in the beginning of the game, but he reeled himself in, making a couple easy saves, and he was phenomenal at the end of the game. Hansen here has been very composed with the couple shots that he has stopped. He's done a really good job controlling the rebounds and keeping the puck in front of him, even though this game has been very wild, very out of control. The puck has been everywhere. He's done a really good job keeping his composure, and that's something that I think will be a benefit for him going into the competition.
Now moving into the shot battle, we saw earlier on the period summary, it was 14-4 Oswego in shots. What's been the key for Oswego controlling the shot battle tonight?
It's got to be the face-offs. When you dominate in face-offs, you dominate possession, which only means you could really just dominate in the shots. It seems like Potsdam just hasn't had any opportunity to kind of turn this puck around. Anytime they've had a chance, anytime they've had to stick on the puck, they can't turn it over and they can't bring it down to Oswego's zone. So really, they need to win a lot more face-offs there, and they've just been capitalizing on how many any shots they've had here. Very similar to what Oswego's just been doing all season.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look. Theoretically, if Oswego was to hold on to this lead, they would be the only team in the SUNYAC to win every single one of their SUNYAC games so far. Granted, Buffalo State hasn't seen a SUNYAC game yet this season, but how important is it for Oswego with this potential 3-0 start in their conference?
Regardless, I think this would be huge for Oswego if they can hold on to this, because if you look ahead in the schedule, it's Brockport and then you got to travel to Geneseo. That's a really tough schedule going forward. So having that confidence that you can beat your SUNYAC foes to start off the season, I think that's huge for a team like Oswego, especially a team with such talent on paper, and they've shown to be very good. And in games going forward, tough games against Brockport going forward and Geneseo going forward, I think that would be huge for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now looking forward to next weekend, you touched on it, how they have a matchup at home on Friday against the Brockport Golden Eagles, and then on Saturday they travel to Geneseo. Take us through those matchups and what we can look for from the Lakers, because those are two teams who are supposed to be at the top of the conference with Oswego.
Yeah, definitely top two teams there. It's definitely going to be a tough weekend for Oswego, a real test for the team there. If you come out with this win, confidence levels are obviously up going into it and onto the road as well. You got to take those games. You got to be competitive just to show, you're rising up in these SUNYACs there. These are top teams. So if you can get a win out of both of these games, I think that the sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah, what do you guys expect, especially in that Geneseo game? That's the team that knocked Oswego out of the SUNYAC tournament. Obviously, the reigning champs winning the SUNYAC final 4-3 against Oswego last year. What do you expect in that game?
Well, if the Lakers do hold on to this one, I think that is big for them going into Geneseo, because that is a hostile environment. That is a big redemption game for them. They're definitely going to want the win in that game. I think a win now and a win against Brockport would be huge for them going into Geneseo, and that may help them in their quest to win a SUNYAC title.
It's definitely a confidence builder. Definitely a chip on your shoulder too there if you want to go to Geneseo and you want to win. Now's the time to do it, to set that statement early in the season and bring that momentum only to the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Should be a great weekend of hockey next week. We're going to head to the break. When we come back, it's Matt Watling and Luke Owens with the call for the second period. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10.
Welcome back to the Verano Campus Ice Arena here in Oswego, New York, as the Oswego State Lakers lead the Potsdam Bears 2-0. Matt Watling here, joined alongside Luke Owens. Now, Luke, earlier in that first period, one of your keys to the game for the Lakers was don't settle for those point shots, but you wanted them to get traffic in front of the net. How'd they do with that one?
Yeah, they did not really settle for the point shots. They took point shots that were smart. They knew there was going to be traffic in front of the net, especially on that Carson Vance one that kind of just snuck through with Travis Broman used as a screen almost in front of the net. So they've done a good job getting the puck to the net. Really no rebound opportunities when the puck goes directly to the back of the net, Matt.
Yeah, and for the Lakers even, when they were, I don't want to say settling, so we put that in air quotes, settling for those shots from the point, they were smart shots because you're getting open passing lanes, open shooting lanes, and you're still crashing the net, as you said, for those rebounds. They've looked excellent. Now for Potsdam, in terms of righting the ship, what have they done to not be able to do that, I should say?
Yeah, it's really been, Oswego State hasn't been the crispest on defense that they have been as they haven't really been at some points this season so far, but Potsdam really hasn't capitalized on offense, and the question is who's going to score for this Bears team? They returned almost all their scoring from last year, but someone's got to get going to the net because this game could get out of hand quickly, as we saw last night.
Yeah, and they look for Robert Clare, the Oswego, the former Laker. He's got 4 points through 3 games this season. He's looked really strong, really a talented player that the Lakers unfortunately couldn't hold on to last year. And for Potsdam, he's got to get going here in this game if they want a chance. He's out there on the ice with that top line alongside Tyler Young and Devin Panzica. Roman can't collect the pass, shot, rebound, way out in front, and a good job by Hansen to get to the top of his crease despite the screen. Robert Clare with it now, batting alongside Vance and Broman. Panzica joins him as he forces it to the point, and a good keep by Winnicates. As he gets it to the front of the net, Panzica knocked down. Looked like he might have slashed Carter Allen on the follow-through, as Carter Allen's slow to get off the ice.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be something to watch. Carter Allen coming up a little bit slow there, and that would obviously be a huge loss for the Lakers as he makes his way to sit down on the bench next to Carson Vance.
And he seems to be okay, just huddled over either his arm or his midsection on the slash. As an interception, shot by Brett Horn just goes up and over the net. Point-blank chance that probably should have gotten on net if you're the Potsdam Bears.
Yeah, a good job by Macmillan there to tie up the stick there. Didn't allow a great chance from Horn, and Horn's been one of those guys that's been very active. And if Potsdam, I mean, they need someone to get it going, and that was a great A opportunity.
Isaac the other way has Molinaro as he holds up and looks for Sullivan in the slot. Couldn't get a stick on that one as it was a slightly off pass by Isaac.
Yeah, really an interesting pace here to start this period. It looks like Potsdam's really dominated the offensive zone time, and Oswego State's still a little bit sloppy inside their own zone. That's going to go down for an icing, though, so a good chance here for the Lakers to switch the ice and allow Potsdam to not get that change.
Lakers sending out Gillespie, Emerson, and Spink, this third line that hasn't seen really too much ice time for that first period, but Gillespie makes his ice time really count. Just a dynamic scorer in the sense that he has such a powerful shot. Might be one of the best on this Lakers team.
Yeah, this is a really fun line. I mean, you have Spink and Emerson, two of those forwards that they'll get down low, they'll get gritty, but they're also big bodies. And Mike Gillespie, I mean, he plays like he's 6'5". He just plays so much bigger than his size, and he's more than willing to go in front of the net and make big plays.
Yeah, Gillespie only 5'8", but 170 pounds. As Tyler Curry fires a shot on net, Pagaluka makes the save in the rebound, bounces out to Jeff Solo. Shot once more, deflected by Robert Clare, and Spink loses his stick trying to knock down the puck.
Yeah, early on in this second period, Potsdam playing up on the point. We saw them sink back a lot in that first period, maybe trying to avoid those long point shots, and a good job deflecting the puck there on the shot from the point.
Both teams doing a very good job offensively through the neutral zone, getting the puck in, and not only that, but maintaining possession as Clare takes a hit from Jeff Solo, and Tanner Spink on the puck along the corner boards. Tanner Spink losing it to Tyler Young as he holds it and resets for Terranova, fires a shot wide, looking for deflection but couldn't find one. Ethan Clark with a shot, staked away by Cedric Hansen, and Scorpio looks to exit the zone.
Really good job just getting the puck to the net right now for Potsdam. The question is, can they get those rebound opportunities? There have been big rebounds, just not in the right place at the right time right now if you're the Bears, and another opportunity here to set up in front, but it almost seems like, Matt, it's a matter of time before they get one of those deflections to get a better opportunity in front of the net.
And Joey Scorpio icing that puck down the length of the ice. So the Potsdam Bears looking to set up shop with Alfieri on there alongside Soazo, who wins it back, looking for Terranova, but he can't quite corral it on his backhand. So the Lakers get a line change. Yeah,
much needed line change there as that line of Gillespie and Spink heads off the ice, and now it's going to be Vance and Allen back on the ice. So good news for the Lakers there.
Ethan Clark with some speed fires across the ice. Cedric Hansen stopping that one behind his own net and looks for Fletcher. Fletcher with an easy exit, and the Lakers have a chance with some numbers if they can hurry. Fletcher's got LeBlanc and Scorpio. Shot by Fletcher, just goes wide. And Carter Allen has to recoil all the way back to his own end of the ice to pick up that puck here with 17 left to go in this second period.
Good job by LeBlanc there, kind of turned on the Jets to fill the lane, which really allowed Fletcher to get that shot off, and it was kind of a weird angle, but LeBlanc, really good job just getting there to help out his linesmate.
Fletcher's got Scorpio, but cuts in himself and a nice backhander. A very good job by Pagluca to make the save.
Yeah, it might have been whistled down a second too early there. It looked like Pagluca didn't quite have control of the puck, but again, as soon as refs kind of lose vision on that puck, they will blow it. As you see, Fletcher and also I believe that Scorpio in front kind of protesting, saying, hey, that puck was still leaked out. We could have had a chance there for a second opportunity, but it was blown dead in front of Pagluca.
Lakers send out their top line of Passero, Brown, and Broman. Novak and McMillan there as well. To contest the faceoff is Michael MacArthur, the former Laker, out there alongside Ben Thomas and Vincent Guyman as Broman gets the draw from Passero. Broman knocked down, and the Lakers look to set up shot with McMillan. Walks the line to Novak. Novak cuts down, shot, just goes wide, looking for deflection. Except Passero gets it back out in front for Brown, and a good active stick as Vincent Guyman looks to go the other way with it now. Leaves it for Thompson. And the Lakers reset as they pick up the puck off of Guyman's stick, or Thompson's stick, I should say. Max Novak with it now. Looking for McMillan, but instead Brown will pick it up, and he'll get Broman. McMillan over to Passero, shot, just goes wide, rebound back. Can't get it quite in front, but Pagluca lost his net a bit there, Luke.
Yeah, he did, and it looked like Broman had a really great opportunity there, but it started with a leak-out pass from Max Novak, maybe a little bit of a risky pass up the wing to Brown, but a risk that the Lakers are willing to take up 2 goals, and they could have had a third had it been controlled a little bit better in the offensive end.
Isaac playing with his feet, trying to get it to Sullivan, couldn't quite get it to him. Instead, Terranova looks to flip the ice for the Potsdam Bears. Firing over for Horn, can't quite corral it. Instead, Nate Zwei gets it and fires a shot just wide. Brett Horn on the rebound behind in the corner boards. Losing it to Isaac, and the Lakers could have a chance if they hurry. Up for Molinaro, spin around to pick up that puck, but instead it goes all the way to behind the goal line. Molinaro with it now, losing possession of it momentarily, but Isaac trying to pick up the slack on the cycle. Isaac gets it over to Sullivan, looking for Molinaro, and he can't quite corral it. Back out in front, a soft shot, but Sullivan there on the rebound. Not much going there as Pelnick will wind up for a slap shot, save, rebound, cleared by Terranova just to the corner boards as the Lakers are hard on him.
Usually I don't love that set shot from the point from Pelnick, but with the way the Lakers have been executing from the point, not a bad shot.
Pelnick tries to get a shot on goal, but instead it's deflected up and out of play with 15:04 left to go in the second period. And the Lakers early in that first period, as you said, Luke, they got a lot of their offense from that point. Carson Vance with a wrister from the point, Colton Fletcher, a spin around wrister, goes top shelf as well on Pagluca. And so far, Pagluca in the second period has looked much better, but his defense right there with him, getting rid of those rebounds.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the defense kind of trying to push up. They didn't do it as well in that Pelnick shot, but they're trying to avoid those, almost screening their own goal. You got to find that fine line between blocking shots and making sure your goaltender can actually see those pucks coming at the net.
Lakers battling along the boards with the Potsdam Bears. Gillespie gets it back to Carter Allen, who looks for a pass, can't find him, so he'll dump it in for Spink behind the net. Tanner Spink knocked down by Tyler Young. Staying with it is the Lakers as Emerson picks it up, but instead Young will pick it back up behind his own net. Can't find Farrell, as Gillespie fires that behind the net, but Farrell will pick it back up to go the other way. Instead, Gillespie knocks him down hard, and Spink picks up, and the tripping might be called, and it won't be, as the Lakers fire a shot on that, but Tanner Spink looked like he was blatantly tripped there.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been a trip, and obviously no call there, but Mike Gillespie, again, he's just really done all the little things right so far this season. He's avoided those penalties. He's done a great job there, twice keeping the puck inside the offensive zone, so it only seems like a matter of time. I mean, Gillespie, I mentioned he does all the little things right. Well, 50 points in 53 career games. This is a guy that knows how to score, but he's really refined every area of his game, it seems, going into this season.
Yeah, it feels like he's almost snake-bitten so far this period, or this game, I should say, or this season, I should say. Third time's the charm. But once Gillespie gets one, especially on that power play, you might see it start to pick up as the Potsdam Bears pick up the puck, and it's Panzica trying to get past Novak, but he can't do so as Novak finds LeBlanc. LeBlanc along the corner boards is surrounded by 3 Bears who come up with it, as it's Vincent Guyman now behind the goal line. Tangled up with the referee and Novak, but Guyman's still with it momentarily as 3 Lakers surround him, and a cross-checking call will be made against Max Novak once the Lakers touch up. Back to the point, shot, blocked, and the Lakers finally touch up as Novik with a clear-cut cross-check, very similar to what we saw Carter Allen take a couple games ago against Cortland.
Yeah, I'm sure the ref wasn't too happy, first of all, with the little bump he got from Novik, so you know he's going to keep his eyes on him, and that's clear as day there. 2 hands right to the back of the Potsdam defender, Novik to the box, and really the Lakers have had a couple of those penalties that maybe they would like back, and once again the penalty kill unit on for this Oswego State team, but it's been a strength. Potsdam really hasn't been able to set up much of anything on offense, and it looks like they're just going to run one D-man. Looks like Terranova at the point, so we'll see if they can use their forwards, try to get some speed down towards Cedric Hansen.
And definitely get some traffic in front of the net, because the Lakers, their penalty kill and team defense as a whole, almost going in on Pagluka off the deflected stick, hits the outside of the post for him, so fortunate play for the Bears, who could have given up a shorthanded goal there. Now it's the Bears. Entering the zone with speed was Tyler Young, looking for Farrell, but instead he'll find Carter Allen to fire at the length of the ice as the Lakers go off for a line change.
And that first time the Lakers were able to clear the puck, really it comes down to the face-off dot, where the Lakers have been great this season. Potsdam has actually struggled in the face-off dot so far. They lose the face-off, easy clear for Oswego State, and now they just keep that forecheck up and kill the time off this penalty.
Tennis Bing just killing clock, and Jeff Solo, he's got him in the slot, can't quite find him as the 3 Potsdam Bears surrounding him finally knock the puck off him, and Terranova leaves it for his man in Tyler Young. Flipping it into behind the goal line. Jeff Solo first on that one, but a good keep by Terranova. Back across for Winnicates. Back down low for Claire. Claire trying to circle the wagon, leaves it for Terranova. Shot deflected by Solo into the boards, and Mitch Emerson first on that, but he's joined by Nate Zwag. He's trying to win it back, can't do so. Zwag out in front, and a great back check by the Lakers and Tyler Curry, and he'll take up the ice. 40 seconds to go here in this penalty kill for the Lakers.
Yeah, you don't love taking these penalties, but you've seen the excitement on this Lakers bench. They love this effort, first by Curry, now by Gillespie, and it was Mitch Emerson earlier in the shift, or excuse me, it was Tanner Spink, so it's a really good energy boost. You don't love to be in the box, but a great job for the Lakers.
Lakers clear that once more with 20 seconds to go here on this penalty kill for them, and they've done a very excellent job. As you said, Luke, staying aggressive. Not many chances for Potsdam so far.
Yeah, and a really sloppy play there by Potsdam. 3 players were offsides. The ref was calling it. The players didn't realize now Pagluka has the cover.
Yeah, and with that cover, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, James Catato. James, what do you got for us?
Hey, thanks, guys. Well, what we have seen so far in the second period, one thing Oswego can correct going further on in, the amount of penalties that they accumulate. They're already up to 2 on the period. They've got a lot of face-offs deep in their defensive end, and one of those things they're going to have to correct, because Potsdam, coming into this game, they put up 92 shots as a team. Now, the Lakers doing a very good job of limiting the amount of shots that Potsdam accumulates over the course of the game, but if they keep accumulating those penalties, well, Potsdam might get some opportunities, might hurt them in the long run. Back to you guys.
Thank you, James, and the Lakers losing that draw as Potsdam looks to go their way. Penalty expires, and Vincent Guyman takes a shot as offhand, but instead it's shuffled back behind the net by Cedric Hansen. Penalty there alongside Michael MacArthur, but he'll win it over to Joey Scorpio behind his own net. Colton Fletcher with it now. Behind back pass, looking to exit the zone, can't do so. But on the second attempt, he will circle back behind his own net, trying to reset for the Lakers as LeBlanc picks it up. Errant stick there, but it won't phase LeBlanc as he'll get it over for Fletcher, who can't control it, and it's back the other way for Potsdam. Carson Vance going through the offensive zone, stick handling heavy, and holds up and just fires a pass behind the net.
Just a really high IQ play there once again by Carson Vance. He's just so smooth as a defenseman with the puck. He's not really, doesn't have the heaviest shot from the point, but we saw in that first shot, it's very accurate, and it's still coming in hard off the wrister.
Terranova behind his own, behind the goal line. Almost tripped up by Scorpio on the forecheck. Will actually pick it up. He's got someone in front of the net, which was LeBlanc, or Fletcher, excuse me, but couldn't quite find him as Derek Brown came off the ice with LeBlanc going off for a line change.
Yeah, it looked like Terranova came up a little bit slow there for Potsdam as Hansen is just going to glove that one. So Terranova, a guy that's been really active on both ends, really playing a full 200 feet of hockey tonight. So that could be a big loss for Potsdam if he's unable to go on that third defensive pairing.
Yeah, and really this third defensive pairing for Potsdam looked really strong. You've got Terranova alongside what looked to be Brett Horn there in the forward group as well. They've been really talented and just really strong overall from what I've seen.
Yeah, they have been. Big face-off here for Potsdam, trying to get something going from the point. Haven't really gotten a lot of shots generated here against this Oswego State defense.
Yeah, Ethan Clark on that third D pair as well. And I'd argue that they've been really the best for this Potsdam team so far through about half the game. As it's Carter Allen trying to get it over to his teammate Derek Brown, can't do so. Back for Claire. Fires it in deep, I should say, as Potsdam Bears try to cycle it around, unable to do so. as they lose the puck over to Carson Vance. Carson Vance looking for Broman, can't quite find him. Instead, Venter picks it up. But Broman with that, laying the body, able to force it out of the zone alongside Carson Vance. Broman almost picking up instead. Pissarro gets to Brown. Over for Broman, bouncing puck. Can't corral it as he picks it back up and looks to set the cycle game back up, but instead, it's Robert Clare picking the puck up in his own end.
Yeah, Clare may be trying to do a little bit too much. Obviously, returning to Oswego State, you wonder if he's maybe trying to push the envelope a little bit too much. I thought he had a shot opportunity one of the last times Potsdam had an opportunity in their offensive end and kind of just didn't take it and decided to pass instead.
Zyzek entering the zone with a little bit of speed, but enough room to enter the zone as Solo punched it in deep for Sullivan. Back out in front, Molinaro losing his skates and couldn't quite get a shot off. Back out in front, saved by Pagluca. Rebound once more behind the net. Wrap around for Molinaro, punching at it. Crowded crease and no goal there. And the Oswego State bench is not happy with that quick whistle.
Yeah, the bench nor the fans there. And it was a really sneaky little wraparound opportunity there for Oswego State. Puck was still loose in front of the net. I believe that was Sullivan that had the little wraparound, try to get through. Pagluca, good job closing the pads. We'll see on the replay here. Pagluca does a good job manning the post. That was actually Molinaro, you'll see here. He cycles back around. He's got a little opportunity right there for the wraparound. Good job by Pagluca, though, to shut the door. But that's a whistle that should not have been blown. That puck was still alive in front of the net.
And that's what that 6'4" frame for Pagluca does. Being able to get across and really take the skate out, hugging the post, so important for a goaltender on the wraparound attempt. And a great job by Pagluca. As the Bears look to exit the zone, Ethan Clark only finds it to the red line, but it'll finally get punched in here with 9:25 left to go in the second period.
Yeah, and also going back to that Pagluca save, that was a really great job of just spatial awareness. Really no one else saw Molinaro besides Pagluca. Good job to keep his head on a swivel behind the net.
Nate Zweig losing that one to the Lakers as Emerson punches it in and knocks his man down for Curry now. At the circle, hesitates. He's got Solo behind him, but instead he'll find Gillespie at the circle. Back for Curry at center point. Shot blocked and just goes wide. Pagluca couldn't quite find it on the screen as Spink picks it up along the goal line. Tanner Spink behind the net, losing it to Ethan Clark. But he'll continue the forecheck as Emerson jumps in. And a pinching Solo couldn't quite find the puck, so instead he'll go the length of the ice for an icing against the Potsdam Bears.
And that's just so tough for a defense. When you have Mitch Emerson, you have Tanner Spink, just so willing to go down there and bang bodies down behind the net, keeping the puck in the zone, and then also Gillespie. So I really like that third line for Oswego State. Obviously, they haven't recorded a point so far, but their willingness to go down in those areas and get gritty with it, as I like to say, a really good job by that Oswego State third line so far tonight.
Colton Fletcher on the draw for the Lakers in the offensive zone, alongside Scorpio and LeBlanc, loses that one as Ethan Clark looks to clear the zone, and it actually goes up and out of play as the Lakers will have another offensive zone faceoff in the Potsdam end. And for Oswego State, these last couple of shifts, it seems like the ice is tilting more in their favor. Early on, it seemed like Potsdam, I won't say had a step on the Lakers, but we're right there with them 50-50.
Yeah, this game's reminded me a lot, actually, of that game last night where the Lakers got the 2-0 lead in the first, and then in the second period, Plattsburgh State came out strong, but the Lakers were able to weather the storm and eventually would get a goal in that second period to go up 3-0. So we'll see if Oswego State can kind of stick to that blueprint and try to get the pucks into the back of the net.
Potsdam with 3 shots on goal so far this period for a total of 7. The Lakers really dominating the shot totals as usual, as it's Sullivan losing that one, or rather Scorpio, excuse me, losing that one to Tyler Young. They'll find it over for Ryan Leith, and Venter fires it in for, but instead the Lakers look to go the other way now. Panzika trying to get that one. Instead Ryan Leith fires it back around for Panzika, excuse me, as Tyler Young goes the other way. 3 Lakers back. Tyler Young looking for it, but instead McMillan does a great job knocking him off the puck, and Broman looks to escape the zone. Travis Broman now on his off wing will look to fire it in deep and get to do it as the Lakers go off for a full sail line change.
Yeah, good job there by Broman just to get his line mates a change there and get some fresh legs out for the Lakers. Those little plays that really go a long way in terms of stamina and making sure that the right guys are out there at the right time.
Especially important on a back-to-back, the second of a back-to-back, the first for the Lakers this season, as Broman finds Carter Allen at the point, firing in behind the net, looking for Derek Brown, but instead they'll find Carson Vance on the recoil. Travis Broman with it now, firing it in around the net, but no one home for the Lakers as Derek Brown picks it up and sneaks behind the goal line. Back out for Carson Vance at point, hesitates on a shot, we'll find Carter Allen who fires a shot just up and over the net. Vincent Guyman, on that one, and instead Carter Allen will pick it up as the Lakers are looking for a line change with Jody Sullivan getting out there. Carter Allen battling for it, but instead he loses it, and Vincent Guyman's got a chance one-on-one. Guyman shot and save back in behind the goal line as Carson Vance ties up his man as the Potsdam Bears get back to full strength on the line change.
Yeah, good job there by Carson Vance, tying up the stick, made sure there was only one angle for a shot, and of course, Cedric Hansen stayed in position and made the save.
Joey Sullivan with the puck now in his own end. Escapes a couple of forecheckers for Potsdam and flips it over to Zizek. Zizek can't contain it as Clark gets a shot on net, looking for a tip by Machero, but instead he'll find Cedric Hansen's pads as Zizek looks to escape the zone and does so.
Yeah, a couple times there where Zizek kind of struggled to get the puck out of the zone. Really uncharacteristic from Zizek. You got to get those pucks out. You got to make sure those second opportunities aren't there.
Molinar's got some speed down the left wing, fires a shot just wide, and will be good enough for a clear for the Potsdam Bears as Max Novik picks it up in his own end by the hash marks. Over for Sullivan, he's got Zizek if he can get a step. 2-on-2 with Molinaro as well. Zizek holds up, looking for a point pass as Helnick can't quite find him. Instead, he'll fire it back in for Sullivan behind the net. Sullivan back out in front for Zizek. Tough angle shot, doesn't go as a good save by Pagluka. And Zizek continuing the cycle, but instead loses it to a falling Ethan Clark, and Sullivan can't keep it in. But instead, Molinaro picks it up and enters the zone 3-on-3. For Zizek, Novik with it down the slot. Back for Sullivan, cuts wide, back out in front. And Pagluka pounces on it, and Sullivan was not too happy with himself there.
Yeah, we've mentioned that third defensive pairing for Potsdam. Ethan Clark there had a great shift. First with the full dive to get the puck out of the zone, and then a good job skating backwards, making sure there wasn't a good shot in front of the net, and a good job protecting his goaltender. So this all sophomore line for Potsdam has been great on that third defensive pairing.
So you saw there with Joey Sullivan kind of punching the boards in front of him, not too happy with his opportunity there. Really a chance for the Lakers to extend this lead to 3.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities so far for the Lakers. They haven't been able to capitalize. So if you're Potsdam, still a lot of hope going forward.
Solo fires a shot, but it looks like it's going to be an interference call by Tanner Spink off the faceoff. And you talk about discipline for this team. That's another penalty that didn't really seem to be necessary as it stifles the Lakers offense.
Yeah, especially when you win that faceoff, you don't want to cause that interference in front. And now Tanner Spink to the box. And like I said, Potsdam still 2-0. Could get, a power play goal here, cuts it to a 1-goal game with just 5 minutes remaining in the second period. So this is a huge power play for Potsdam. They haven't really had any sort of cohesion so far on the power play, but this is a big one.
And Spink didn't look too happy for that call. Might have been a pick play unintentionally, but the referees call it nonetheless, and Potsdam will go to the power play yet again. Robert Clare, the centerman for this top unit. Terranova back there on point, manning this point and quarterbacking this power play for the Potsdam Bears, who have yet to score on the power play and yet to score in this game, which is now about 35 minutes in, as a shot saved by Hansen. And Jody Sullivan looks to go the other way, 1-on-2. Holds up at the red line, killing time, and finds Josh Zizek, who might have a chance here with Sullivan 2-on-2. Zizek enters the zone. He's got Sullivan in the slot. Back across for Sullivan, and a bouncing puck. A good job by Terranova to get an active stick on that one to avoid the 2-on-1 cross-ice pass.
And look at Sullivan battling down there. 4 Bears on him, and he's just controlling the puck and killing some time. A great job by the Lakers just killing time on every penalty kill so far.
Terranova entering the zone, leaves for Nate Zweig. Looking for Farrell, but instead Molinaro has it, and a slashing call by Nate Zweig will negate the final minute 15 of this power play.
Yeah, pretty easy call there, and if that penalty hadn't occurred, could have been a breakaway for Oswego State, so maybe not the worst thing there in the world. That's going to be, I believe, Bryce Farrell going to the box for Potsdam as he slams the door. Not happy with that call, but to me it looked pretty clear from up here.
Yeah, definitely a clear cut. As we watch the replay for Farrell's call, and really a tripping call right there. Look what you see.
Yeah, he came over here and just gets tied up right there in the sticks of Molinaro. That could have been a good opportunity going the other way, so good call, and now get some 4-on-4 hockey for at least a minute 15 seconds.
And for the Lakers, sending out Passero and Broman, not necessarily the fastest guys on this team, but certainly two of the most offensively gifted, as Curry finds Passero along the half wall. Good job by Winnicates to just dump that one in and out of the Potsdam zone with a minute to go on the Lakers penalty until they return to 5-on-4 play for an abbreviated power play. Passero at the red line, he's got Broman, but instead he'll find Solo entering the zone along the half wall with it. Hesitates and looks to backtrack for Curry, but instead he'll lose the puck to the Potsdam Bears, and it looks like it's going to be Michael MacArthur the other way with it now. Michael MacArthur entering the zone with little speed, dishes it off for his partner in Clare, or excuse me, rather that's Richardson, who looks to find the open man but no one home, as Jeff Solo picks it up behind his own net.
Yeah, you like to think the Lakers have the advantage on a 4-on-4 with so many good power forwards and defensemen that can score.
Nifty play by Thompson to avoid a complete body check by Broman, but Tyler Curry comes away with it with 17 seconds left to go in this Lakers penalty in the 4-on-4. Tyler Curry loses the puck momentarily, and it's Brett Horn picking up the puck, but there's a stoppage in play Couldn't quite see what it was, but it might have been a penalty.
Yeah, and it looked like Tyler Curry lost his lid there. It
well,
actually
that's what it
spilled
is.
right into the Potsdam bench. So, you know, good job by the Bears returning the helmet. Didn't mess with it at all as Curry's going to skid off to the bench. But no penalty there. I think the refs wanted to make sure everything was okay, as always a scary moment when a helmet comes off.
And of course, for Tyler Curry, once the helmet comes off, the stoppage in play occurs in college hockey's rules. And for the Lakers, you'll send out Josh Zizek, Gillespie, Novick, and looks to be Vance with 9 seconds left here on the spink penalty. It looks like they're going to try to set up their power play a bit early. Instead, Robert Clare pushes it forward. Robert Clare stops on a dime, and he finds Leith looking for a shot, save, and a good save by him. Gillespie laying the body out as well, looking for the block, and the Lakers go on the power play for the next 40 seconds here with just about 3 minutes left to go here in the second period.
And Gillespie once again impressing on defense. Great job just sacrificing the body with the block.
Novick, excuse me, sets it back for Vance, who will set things up behind his own net, trying to pick up speed through the defensive zone. Novick with it now, fires it over for Brown, who can't quite find Novick, but he'll find Vance instead off the skates of Solazzo. Firing it down the length of the ice is the Potsdam Bears, and they'll get a change here with just about 7 seconds left in this abbreviated power play for the Lakers.
Yeah, can't really judge this power play. As you said, abbreviated. Lakers not really a chance to set up, but this could be a good opportunity to set up at least in the offensive zone, but they're not going to get a chance as Farrell returns.
Bryce Farrell flying out of the box, unable to do much with it, as Pissarro fires it in deep, and the Lakers will go off for a bit of a line change to get their regular units out. Potsdam looking to transition in a hurry, so it's going to go to Richardson. Richardson makes a nifty move, but Gillespie an even better play to poke that one off his stick, and he picks up the puck. Cuts to the slot, back down for Brown, and a nifty little play. Gillespie with a slap shot from an odd angle, and Pagluka makes a nice save there.
Yeah, Gillespie just so active with his hands there, gets the puck, and a good drop pass to Brown. Unfortunately, just a step too early was Brown, and I think he tried to get a stick on that, but it got deflected out of play. But another great play by Mike Gillespie.
Yeah, for Derek Brown trying to just push that one forward across the crease. Pagluka couldn't get the skate over, I should say, but just going wide was the shot, or the attempt. Lakers sending out Gillespie, Emerson, and Spink still out there on the ice as they lose the draw to Tyler Young on this top line for the Potsdam Bears. Bryce Farrell has a chance. If Pelnick can catch him, it's a breakaway. Cuts in, knocked down by Pelnick on the breakaway. Farrell unhappy, but they're going to go to the penalty, or Pelnick, excuse me, will go to the penalty box as he holds down Farrell.
Yeah, maybe a penalty not you want to take, but if you're the Lakers, avoid the breakaway opportunity. And of course, not going to be a penalty shot there. Pelnick goes to the box for the Lakers. And I don't know, Matt, do you think that's a penalty the Lakers want to take? We'll see here on the replay. Farrell looks like he has a step, and then, yeah, Pelnick just grabs the jersey. Might have been a hook right there. And Farrell, really good job controlling the puck and almost gets a shot on net.
And if you're the Lakers, you accept that penalty. You'd much rather take the 2 minutes. Your penalty kill looks really strong. And you have your trust enhanced, but at the same time, the way your penalty kill's been going, you shouldn't have too much of a problem killing this one off, unless Robert Clare has anything to say about it as he enters the zone with a little bit of speed. Holds up now as Zizek forechecks the pressure, and Farrell comes away with it. Farrell looking for the point man Terranova at the center point. Shot, just saved and rebound in front, and it goes in. Robert Clare makes his presence felt in a homecoming as he nets one against his former team.
Yeah, Clare did a really good job there on the rebound, just flipped it up in front of Hansen. And it looked like for the Lakers there, just we'll see on the replay, but a lot of traffic in front of the net, a lot of heads were turned the wrong way. A good job by Terranova whistling it around the point, and right there, just a lot of heads turned around. Looked like Vance was kind of tied up with his man, and then Clare hammers one home in his really his homecoming here at the Marano Campus Center. Nets a goal and makes sure that he lets the crowd know what jersey he's wearing now.
Yeah, it looked like Zizek was a little bit slow to get on Clare. Not saying that that's his man, but when you're the second man in, it's very unfortunate. That power play goal was truly brilliant. The first one the Lakers have given up all season on their penalty kill.
Yeah, and just like that, it's a 2-1 game with 2 minutes left. If you're Potsdam, you want to take that 2-1 lead, or that 2-1 trailing, into the locker room.
And even try to get one more here with 1:45 left to go in the second period. Lakers 10 in their own zone now after that power play goal they give up. And it's Derek Brown looking to go the other way with it now. Rather, the Potsdam Bears pick it up. But a good job by Solo to get it to Broman. Broman for Pissarro at the red line. Back to Broman, knocked down. No call, or rather, there's a call there on what appears to be Paul Michura. So the Lakers will get a chance to knock their first power play goal home, just like Potsdam did.
Yeah, it looked like there was 2 chances there. The refs could have called that penalty. They got it on the second time, and Broman, really good job using his speed, using his strength, able to draw that penalty. And now Oswego State with 1:25. As we see on the replay here, Broman just gets tied up not once, but twice there a little bit too, but I think they called that initial one. So the Lakers going on the power play and a chance to get that goal back before they go into the locker room.
They'll send out their top unit of Zizic, Passero, Broman, Vance, and Novick as Passero loses the draw, but a good active stick by Broman keeps that puck in play. Passero at the corner boards, or at the half wall, I should say, circling around, looking for an open passing lane. Can't quite find one, but he gets it back to Vance anyway, as Novick picks it up in the circle. Back for Vance at center point. Back down for Passero. Looking for Novick, finds him. Fake shot, back over Passero, and just goes wide. A good job by Vance, picking up that clear to keep it in the zone. 1 minute left in this first period. Back out in front. Pagluca will dive on it behind the net. With 57 seconds left, this Lakers power play getting a bit more puck movement, but not enough pucks to the net.
Yeah, exactly, man. And you saw the penalty kill unit let up their first goal of the season, so now I'm sure the power play unit would like to help them out there and get the goal. Obviously, Vance was involved on that penalty kill, kind of got his head turned around, wasn't able to see the puck, so it looked to him kind of man that from the point. We'll see if they get a quick shot off the faceoff from the point where they've been so successful so far tonight.
Novick over to Vance, looking for a shot, finds one, an easy save for Pagluca. As Richardson tries to clear, can't get it past Novick at the other point. Zides behind the goal line. Looking for a pass for Broman, can't find him. A good job by Winiakates to knock that one down, but Broman gets it back out for Vance slot. Shot just goes wide, back off the net, and Zizic comes away with it. Zizic looking for Vance, looked like he got tied up in the skates of the ref, but instead Zizic hammers way to the net, and he's hit hard and looked like a bit of a high hit. No call there as it wasn't by his head, as Vance can't keep the puck in. The Potsdam Bears with 20 seconds left will get a line change and a clear.
And again, good offensive zone time there for Oswego State, but unfortunately not enough shots on goal.
For the Lakers, another stoppage in play. The Lakers got 50 seconds left on this power play, so if they can't cash in the next 15 seconds or so, it's going to be the Lakers starting on the power play in that third period, and a chance for a fresh sheet of ice, and a chance for Ghost to really set up a couple of set pieces for his penalty kill, or his power play rather, that hasn't looked great.
Yeah, and they wouldn't really have time to kind of get their skates going in that third period right onto the power play. As you mentioned, there's pros and cons to starting the power play, and it looks like a Lakers penalty as Colton Fletcher slams the penalty box door, and the Lakers now going to 4-on-4 hockey.
And I missed the call on that one as we wait the PA, the announcer, calling that one officially. But for the Lakers, very unfortunate that you end your power play that looked pretty solid for the most part. A couple chances, not too many towards the net, but if you're Gosick, you got a couple chances going and you kept the puck in the offensive zone. Yeah, just not enough grade A chances. The Lakers just haven't really been able to throw the puck towards the net on the power play and get those deflections and rebounds so far. Derek Brown, 2-on-3 with Molinaro, fires a shot, easy blocker save for Pagluca. And the second period will end here. Lakers still 4-on-4, and the Potsdam Bears will have about 1:10 on the power play after that 35 seconds or 30 seconds of 4-on-4 play. Yeah, crazy to think that in the beginning of the second period, it really felt like a matter of time before Oswego State was going to be able to find that third goal, but a good job by Potsdam, and Pagluca really stood strong in that second period, along with the defense in front of them. They cut this to a one-goal game going into the intermission, and I think if you're Potsdam, you have to be thrilled with that second period and the way it turned out. And you know Oswego State's struggles usually come in that third period, especially on a back-to-back. They're going to have to be on their toes for that third period, and Potsdam looking to keep that pressure going. And for the Lakers, you take 5 or 6 penalties, and it's about time that you finally have a goal. This is a team with such high aspirations, you can't afford to take this many penalties in a game. Right, they can't, and we'll see how the 4-on-4 obviously will start the third period. Always an interesting dynamic to start the third. We'll see if the Lakers can be stronger and play that full 60 minutes. And for the Lakers, going to this 4-on-4, you're usually used to seeing them use a lot of their speed. They haven't quite done that just yet in this game. You saw it in the previous games where they really use their speed to an advantage, but what do they have to do kind of there on that 4-on-4? Yeah, that 4-on-4 is usually where they want to be. Yeah, we'll take a quick break here on Hockey Night in Oswego. When we come back, Brian Rubin and the guys will have the second period intermission report. Don't go anywhere. You're watching WTOP 10.
And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the second intermission report right here on WTOP 10 as the Lakers leads the Potsdam Bears 2-1. Once again, alongside me tonight, Michael Morano and Nick Ketter. I'm Brian Rudman. Before we get into anything here on the perch, we're going to send it down to our ringside reporter, James Catato. James, what do you have?
Bench. And it was a great period. It ended up being for Potsdam. Oswego, though, the majority of the period was able to get the better. They were just playing beautiful hockey, moving the puck well, getting the correct place, really the smarter hockey until the very end of the period when 27 Robert Clare gets his third goal of the season. One of the players to watch out for for that Potsdam side. And the Bears, while they made the Lakers pay at the end of the period for sloppy defense right at the end of the second period, now it's a 2-1 game. How are the Lakers going to respond? We talked about at the beginning of the game, gut check time for the Lakers. Are they going to be able to get a clean sweep of Whiteout? Only time will tell. We'll see how Ed Gosick preps the Lakers to come out in the third period. Back to you guys.
Thanks, James. Great stuff as always. And now let's talk about this goal. Potsdam getting on the board. What happened there to the Lakers defense?
Well, it was a power play very late, like they've been piling on here. And Robert Clare, the former Laker, really making his presence known in the wheelhouse. As we take a look here, traffic in front, he just lets it rip, and a tap going in the back of Hansen. Nothing he can really do about that one. Taking a look here in the back as they let it rip, and he was able to get a tap in there. Really nothing he could do about that one, but now it's time now to talk. The clock is ticking for the Lakers to really put this game away as they're only up by 1 goal going into this third.
Absolutely. We talk about going into the third period. What has to change for the Lakers? Because they certainly played a really good first period, but then it seemed as though they couldn't get anything going in the second. What has to change?
Well, I think that hangover that we were talking about kind of hit the Lakers in the second period. It was a little tough for them defensively. The Lakers got pretty sloppy. Their passing wasn't that good, and Cedric Hansen got a big test. A lot of players got in his crease, and for the Lakers, you cannot have that. Also, a lot of penalties. I mean, that was not good for the Lakers. You cannot give Potsdam a chance to get back in this game, and now it's a 1-point game going into the third.
Yeah, now we're going to take a look at the period summary. What have these stats shown you guys about how this game has gone so far?
Well, Potsdam's fighting back now, 1 for 5 in the power play, which is better than 0 for 3 right now in the power play so far, as the Lakers just can't seem to find the back of the net. Oswego still dominating in both shots and face-offs won, but that doesn't really tell the story of what's really been going on in the second period. Potsdam looks a lot more gritty, as that Gosick said before. We talked about it. They look hungry. They look like they, especially with that goal there by Clare, it looks like now they have an opportunity to really turn this game around. It was not over by any means, and Pagluka has just been solid in the goaltending, really keeping this game in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But now we're going to talk about some discipline, because Oswego, they seem to just be accumulating the penalties, putting themselves a man down over and over and over again. What's been going on with the Lakers' discipline? Excuse me.
Well, as I said before, and they're taking a lot of bad penalties, 6 of them in the game so far. And you see Colton Fletcher with a tripping, Josh Isaac with boarding, Max Novick with cross-checking, Tanner Spick with interference, and Pelnick for holding. And a lot of that has to do with the way the Lakers are playing in the second period. They kind of bought into that aggressive style that Potsdam is playing, and it's catching them off guard. They're playing a little bit slower than they were last night, and they're getting caught behind the play, and Cedric Hansen's kind of trying to come up big, and the Lakers have to, almost are forced to commit penalties just to catch up defensively.
And one of the other things to look at here is you really can't pinpoint who's getting what penalty. It's everybody making these type of mistakes. Granted, some of them maybe had to make to kind of eliminate any goal chances, but again, now it gives a lot more time for Potsdam to tie this game up.
Yeah, now let's look at the man between the pipes for the Lakers. Cedric Hansen looking pretty good early on, gave up that late second period goal. What have you guys seen out of him today?
Well, Cedric Hansen's faced not a ton of shots in this game. In the second period, he really faced a lot more shots. The goal really wasn't on him. He got pushed back into his net. There was a ton of traffic. That's a hard goal to take if you're Cedric Hansen, because it's really not on you. But as a goaltender on this team, that's going to hurt your confidence a little bit, and you know it went through your legs and into the back of the net. So Cedric Hansen's got to come out, wipe the slate clean, and just kind of calm himself down and play a great third period here.
Yeah, and he was a guy who had put up some good numbers last year. How is he comparing so far this season?
I mean, really, we haven't really had a chance to kind of see what he could really do, but we see now 10 goals allowed, 920 save percentage there. So he's been doing pretty good so far. The true test really does come in this third period, as it's a 1-goal game. You want to prove to yourself that you can at least be a solid backup, a solid choice for Gosick to turn to if things do go south for Riche. And I think he's proven that so far, but the real test, I think, really does come in this third period, where you have to kind of prove yourself and kind of shut this game down.
Yeah, now switching to the other side, how has Potsdam's man between the pipes looked so far today?
Well, Michael Pagluka has been doing a fantastic job for Potsdam. The Lakers have thrown everything they have at him, and he has used the blocker, he's used the pads really well. He's handled, the only thing he's really struggled with is traffic in front, and that's what the Lakers need to get back to. But overall, when he sees guys one-on-one, he sees the puck very well. The only real struggle that he had was over that left shoulder on the stick side. He's very good with the blocker on the right. So if you're the Lakers, you got to take those quick shots that he's not expecting, because if he knows you're going to shoot, he's got a good chance of stopping it.
And it seems like the confidence keeps building up for him there. We saw him let up the 2 goals there, but really not his fault. The Lakers are just throwing whatever they can at him. They're heavily screening. He can't really see as much, but he's working really well. And really he's been keeping this team involved because he has faced a lot of shots here, has faced a lot of penalties. So really good on him for really just kind of soling it down and really holding it down for Potsdam.
Absolutely, certainly been a good battle between the pipes so far. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's been going on around the SUNYAC so far today. You're watching the second intermission report right here on WTOP 10. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the second intermission report on WTOP 10 as it's the Lakers up on the Bears 2-1 right now. Once again, alongside me tonight, Michael Morano and Nick Ketter. I am Brian Rudman. Now, guys, let's take a look around what's been going around the SUNYAC so far tonight. A bunch of games that we need to be keeping our eyes out on.
Yeah, for sure. Geneseo, one of those teams that was at the top in the preseason rankings. They're up 5-2 on SUNY Canton. Oswego obviously up in this one. Plattsburgh over Cortland 4-1. That's big for them getting the first win. Morrisville beating Brockport, splitting that series. That's definitely shaking up the SUNYAC a little bit. Morrisville moves back up and is going to compete with Brockport and Oswego. Plattsburgh getting that first win to try to turn their season around. Cortland is kind of right in the middle of everything in the SUNYAC, and Geneseo obviously trying to improve their season for fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at Morrisville, they've been kind of a wild card so far. Came into the season, they were last in the conference last season, and they came into the season bottom of the preseason polls. What's been going on with the Mustangs so far?
Yeah, Brian, we love a wild card here. Finished last season 4-19-2. This year they kind of flipped the switch out of nowhere, now 3-1 on the year, and it really kind of starts with your freshmen. They have freshmen of Eric Melso, who has 3 goals, 1 assist, and 5 shots on the season, and then Justin Samero, 1 goal, 2 assists on also 2 shots. So really, it's the freshmen stepping up here. They did a really good job recruiting and getting these guys in, and they've been a real difference maker so far for Morrisville. I mean, almost matching your season total win already, so almost matching that. So that's really a great sign for Morrisville. They can really be a true threat.
Yeah, absolutely. A team that didn't make the playoffs at all last year, finished bottom of the conference. How do they compare to this year's team?
Well, this year's team, obviously, the freshmen have added a new part to this Morrisville team that they didn't have last year, because this is a team that a lot of teams disregarded in the SUNYAC last year. Obviously, they were eliminated. They were at the bottom in the preseason poll, and Morrisville just really adding those freshman guys. That's really changed their season.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, looking at next weekend, again, we talked about it earlier in the show, matchups against Brockport and Geneseo. What can we expect out of those 2 matchups?
I really like Oswego's chances in both of them, just because I look at the Brockport game, I see that they lost to Morrisville. I don't really know how great of a team Morrisville we talked about before, but can they improve throughout the rest of the season? We don't know. So now Brockport is kind of vulnerable right now, and I think they have a chip on their shoulder again from Geneseo. I like Oswego both here, but it really depends on how they finish this game. If they are able to take off in this third period, turn on the Jets, and finish this one on a positive note, I like their chances, but it really depends on how they end this game and going towards that momentum.
Yeah, Nick, what are your thoughts on the Geneseo matchup next weekend, a rematch of last year's SUNYAC final?
Well, Mike, I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like the way this game ends out is going to determine a lot of how the Lakers continue this season, because Brockport is a tough game in its own right with them being at the top, but Geneseo is a team that I think the Lakers have marked on their calendar. They really want to get that win. I mean, as of now, I still like the Lakers in that matchup because they really want this one, and you saw yesterday what the Lakers can do when they really want to win a game.
Absolutely. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Matt Watling and Luke Owens have the call to the third period. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. Matt Wilding joined alongside Luke Owens in the Steve Levy press box in the Morano Campus Center Ice Arena. And for the Lakers, that second period a lot more even. Potsdam with 7 shots on goal, Oswego with only 12.
Yeah, it seemed like only a matter of time before Potsdam found the back of the net, and they did, and it's 2-1 going into the third period, Matt. We got ourselves a hockey game with 20 minutes to go. It's imperative that the Lakers play a full 60 minutes tonight if they want to start 3-0 in SUNYAC play.
Yes, we do. And the Lakers start 4-on-4 for 30 more seconds until they go to their 6th penalty kill of the game as Solo steps in, fires a shot, and scores! Jeff Solo off a deflected puck, it seemed. And the Lakers take a 2-goal lead right back.
What a job there by Jeff Solo. The guy has been really active on offense. You see on the replay here, right off the puck drop, just 11 seconds into this period. A great job by the Lakers winning the faceoff. Solo goes down the side, a weird little hop, skip, and a jump into the back of the net, and the Lakers lead 3-1.
Yeah, and right there, if you see on the replay, it goes off Terranova's stick. And when you saw Pegluka going from right to left, it ended up being that the trajectory of the puck was changed and deflects into the right part of the net. Almost got his blocker on that, but couldn't quite find all of it.
Yeah, we talk how important it is to get the puck on the net. Sometimes you get those lucky bounces, and Jeff Solo there is going to be happy with his first goal of the season.
First goal of the season and first goal of his career as a Laker. Spent a couple years, or a year and a half, over at Merrimack College in D1. As the puck's back out in front, and Hansen sticks that away as Emerson picks it up and looks for a 3-on-1. Gillespie with it now down the boards. Looking for Emerson, but instead of look for Solo on the 4-on-4. And the Lakers back now on the penalty kill for 1 minute and 3 seconds as Colton Fletcher finishes off his time in the box.
Yeah, huge penalty kill here for Oswego State. They've got to avoid another power play goal. That's how Potsdam gains some momentum. Lakers gained momentum back in the beginning of this period. They've got to keep that momentum, and a great job there by Carson Vance. But no, they're going to call a hand pass, and it's going to come all the way back.
Yeah, 19 minutes and 4 seconds left in this game. The Lakers have got to be happy with the way they started this period. Coach Gosek, we're sure that he was really laying into his guys because that second period just wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't, and Potsdam has been great on the power play, only 1 for 5 going into this period, but still that one goal just looms so huge by Rob Clare. We'll see if he can get it going once again.
They'll send out their second unit with Joseph Richardson and Winniakates on that back end, those 2 D-men. Panzika there as well as Zizek battling for it, can't clear. Instead, the Potsdam Bears find it off a shot, a rebound, and another one, and instead it goes behind the net for Michael MacArthur, the former Laker, looking to net his first goal of the season against his former team, like teammate Robert Clare was able to do in that second period.
Yeah, that would have been a heck of a storyline, but Carson Vance made sure that storyline, the new Laker, a good job there clearing the zone, and Cedric Hansen manning his post, a good job there.
Brett Horn in 1-on-3. Dances, gets a shot off. The rebound once more, and Hansen pounces on that. And a second chance that probably shouldn't have been had for the Potsdam Bears.
Yeah, MacArthur there had a good chance in front of that. If you're Cedric Hansen, that's a rebound you really don't want to allow. It was big, it was juicy, and it was an easy opportunity there for the Bears. But again, good recovery by Hansen, but just not a great start to that penalty kill unit for the Lakers.
And if you're Hansen, you would have wished that your D-man, you had 2 or 3 guys back, would have swatted that one towards the boards and out of the danger zone, but no harm, no foul for the Lakers as Potsdam wins the draw. Ethan Clark fighting for this one alongside Robert Clare. The puck goes up and out of play. It looks like it's going to be out of the zone as the Potsdam Bears are the ones to knock the puck out of play.
I think we're setting records here for pucks out of play. I believe that's 4 or 5 by my count, but Colton Fletcher now waiting eagerly with just 11 seconds left in this penalty kill for Oswego State, and a big face-off right here. The Potsdam's kind of struggled in the face-off circle, 29-16 in favor of the Lakers, so they've just dominated as they win another one.
Molinaro wins that one once more, but Ethan Clark picks it up and will fire it in on Cedric Hansen. The puck just goes wide as the penalty expires. Robert Clare on the puck for Potsdam, and he'll work it way back to Terranova. Shot just goes wide off the backboards. Calling for it is Tyler Young, but he can't quite find it until his scoring opportunity was no more. As Molinaro knocks him down, and Fletcher picks up the puck coming out of the box. Fletcher couldn't quite get it out of the zone until McMillan was able to do so as Tanner Spink picks it up. Back out in front, an awkward bounce, and Molinaro gets a chance and just goes wide. Colton Fletcher with the wraparound, and a good job by Ethan Clark to clear that one away from the danger zone. Back in front, another chance. Molinaro in all alone, has a chance one more, and it somehow does not score it in. Spink again. The puck on top of the net, and the Potsdam Bears sloppy in their own zone, but they avoid a goal against.
Yeah, it looks like at the end of that play, Pegluka was all the way out of the goal, but 2 defenders in the crease for Potsdam. On the doorstep, looked like Molinaro had a chance. Looked like there were a lot of chances there for Oswego State, but unable to capitalize, and that's one that you want to hammer home, make this a 3-goal lead.
It looked like it was caught between Pegluka's skates, couldn't quite find it, couldn't drop down into that butterfly. But for the Potsdam Bears, you're counting your blessings after numerous chances here on this opportunity for the Lakers on that shift. But instead they'll send out their top unit as Derek Brown goes to work below the goal line. Travis Broman joins him, and he'll work it out for Jeff Solo on the off wall. and he just can't quite keep it in there as he was more at center point to start the play. So Tyler Curry has to battle alongside Michael MacArthur, who's harassing him on the forecheck. Knocked down is Tyler Curry. MacArthur takes a spill as well, but Jeff Solo comes with it, and rather that was Vincent Guyman who fell down. And back the other way with it was Potsdam just firing it in to go off for a small line change. Tyler Curry still out there after the fall, and he'll look to make something happen. Shanks on it, and Brett Horn's got a chance, but he can't quite corral it as he takes to the half wall. Back for the point, shot. Deflected last second, but a good job by Hansen to positionally make that save. Broman in on the defensive effort and steals the puck away and just gets it past the blue line.
Yeah, it looked like Horn was just as surprised as Curry as he kind of fanned on that pass and wasn't in a good position. But if Horn was in a good spot, that would have been an easy one-on-one opportunity going against Hansen.
Richardson gets it for Horn once more, but Sullivan knocks him into the boards. And Emerson Molinaro has a chance here, but he can't quite keep his skates with it. But Sullivan enters the zone. Puck squirts out to Molinaro for Passero. Back out in front, shot, and it goes in! Jody Sullivan on the doorstep, and the Lakers take a 4-1 lead.
A lot of funky bounces in this game so far, and that time a great job by Jody Sullivan controlling the puck. It was Molinaro also in front of the net there, and you know, you put the puck to the net and sometimes weird things happen and sometimes those weird things are good. We're gonna take a look here on the replay as the Lakers, a good job here going defense into offense, tipped in front of the net, and somehow, someway, a nifty little shot there by Passero, and Jody Sullivan taps it home. And Pagluca wants that one back as the Lakers now a 3-goal lead, and this game has turned completely on its head in the first 4 minutes of this last period.
Yeah, whatever Coach Gosick was saying in the locker room has done wonders for this team, as this might be the best period they've had all season so far, Luke.
Yeah, crazy to think that the third period usually the tough period for the Lakers, and they've come out firing early. They kind of want to kill that narrative.
And Sullivan works his way over to Carter Allen, but a bouncing puck jumps over his stick. Carson Vance will reset here as they evade before checking the Potsdam Bears. Venter finds his puck over to Alfieri, and they can't corral it on a rush, so they'll have to punch it in just to the blue line as Carter Allen lays down his man. And we're sorry here at TOP as our scoreboard is currently facing some technical difficulties as Isaac collides into the boards. Both him and Leaf slow to get up as they're tangled behind the play. Nonetheless, Potsdam going the other way with it now. Suazo trying to make something happen, but a good job by Vance to tie up his stick.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy here for Potsdam. Almost looked like they were going to take a bad penalty there on Zizek. No call though, so good job. Shot safe, but you got to avoid those penalties. Sorry, Matt.
So that was a shot just going wide from Tyler Young, and instead Joseph Richardson punched it back in deep from the point. Back out for Richardson, but Suazo will take it away instead. Vance jumping on that, can't quite get it past Young as the two will collide into the boards. Carter Allen there as well as LeBlanc. But coming away with it now is Blair, the former Laker, who already has a goal of his own. That lone goal for the Potsdam Bears on the power play. Carter Allen losing the puck behind his own net. Back out for the point to Terra Nova. Back out for Joe Richardson, can't get a puck on net, but instead a good job by Claire to maintain possession as the Potsdam Bears get extended zone time for the first time in this third period.
Yeah, really good job there by Josh LeBlanc. He's had a couple really good defensive plays so far this game.
Fletcher gets an edge on Terra Nova, but can't quite cut to the net, so he'll leave for Scorpio at the half wall. Scorpio can't quite get it back, and Panzica will look to go the other way with it now. Panzica and Farrell one-on-one, or two-on-two, excuse me. And Fletcher's got a chance if he can get up in a hurry, but a great effort by Brett Horn. No call there, and the Lakers bench is not happy about that.
They're not happy about it. I think that was a clean hit, though, by Brett Horn, and a really good job to really even get to that spot in the first place.
Jeff Solo passed that one over to Spink to avoid the Brett Horn forecheck, but instead there's a board battle along the half wall. Brett Horn trying to come away with it, can't quite get it, and instead Tanner Spink looks to edge it ahead. Jeff Solo can't find that one, so Panzica and Kelnick will battle along the boards as the puck squirts over to Fletcher on the other side of the ice. Flinging it back around for Pound, they can't quite corral it just yet. And he'll get it over to Spink as they can finally exit the zone, are the Oswego State Lakers. Michael Gillespie with it now as he slows in. Cuts towards the center of the net. For Emerson, shot, save, and no rebound by Pagluca on that shot.
Yeah, really good job there. And we're going to throw it down to our sideline reporter, James Catano. James, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. And what a start to the third period that has been for the Oswego State Lakers. You know, I was under the impression they were going to take it slow, maybe play a little conservative on the defensive end. They were only up 2-1. And then Jeff flying solo with the first goal to open things up, not even 13 seconds into the third period. And then Jody Sullivan adds another one on. I don't know what the talk was in between the second and third periods from head coach Ed Gosick, but it sure seemed to work. Great job by the Lakers so far. Back to you guys.
Thank you, James. And really, for the Lakers, it seemed like a whole new team in this third period as Gillespie fends off a checking man and will just fire it in deep. No icing call there, despite Terranova coming back to play the puck.
I think it's key for the Lakers to keep that forecheck pressure up. They're best when they play offensive.
McMillan gets a chance, and Brown almost deflecting that one in. Pegluka looking standing strong, I should say, at 6'4". And looking for Brown behind the net was Emerson. Couldn't quite find him there as Terranova looks to exit the zone. Over for Guyman now as he exits the zone with a little bit of ease. Broman can't get on him. 3-on-3 the other way, and Paul Ventura, can't quite stay on side. So we got a face-off here with 12:46 to go in this third period. Lakers up 4-1.
Yeah, I think the Potsdam captain there, Vincent Guyman, not happy with that rush. He was tapping the ice. Looked like he wanted to pass over on that left wing, but unable to find him. And it's an offsides that Potsdam really couldn't afford. They had the numbers going 3-on-2 the other way, but now an offside kills all momentum.
Nick Alfieri losing that draw once more for Potsdam, who have really struggled, as we've said, in the face-off dot so far this year. As the Lakers try and exit the zone, just able to do so, but instead it's back the other way. Alfieri, 1-on-4. A good job by the Lakers to seal him off as Carter Allen looks to escape the zone. Getting to Pissarro, he'll chip it in for Derek Brown. No ice there, but the Potsdam Bears will come away with it. 12:25 left to go. Potsdam needs to answer the Lakers' early 2 goals here in this third period if they want a chance to get their first win of the season. Back out for Hansen, who will fire it back into the corner boards. Back to the point. Preventer can't keep that one in, or just barely does, despite Broman's ferocious forecheck. As Pissarro trying to get the puck to Broman, is able to do so as he just escapes the zone here with 12 minutes left to go in this third period. Derek Brown punching in deep as the Lakers go for a line change.
Yeah, interesting to see if Potsdam can kind of put the foot on the gas here. This is where they need that second goal if they want to come back in this game. Already trailing by 3 and starting to run out of time.
2-on-1 the other way. Sullivan's got Zizek. To Zizek off his skates, can't corral it, but he'll maintain possession despite losing the opportunity. Curry fires a shot on net, blocked away. Zizek on that rebound as they'll chip it in, looking for someone, but 3 forwards on the other side of the ice leads for an easy clear for the Potsdam Bears, but Panzika can't control that one. So they'll reset back in their own end with John Venter trying to find an exit pass. Fires up and over for Panzika, 2-on-1, can't quite corral that. As it's Zizek looking the other way for Molinaro. Molinaro, he's got Sullivan and Zizek, finds the trailing man, shot by Solo, and it just goes wide. Back for Curry, and he can't quite collect that, and Panzika's got a step. And a great play by Curry, but Panzika's still with it, shot! What a save by Hansen. Just able to get the glove on that one as Panzika had a mini breakaway.
Yeah, we mentioned the size and the speed of Cedric Hansen on full display there. As you said, Panzika got a step. Curry with a really good effort there on the dive, but a great job there. You'll see on the replay, Curry, a good job to kind of tap it away at first, but a good recovery there by Panzika, and Cedric Hansen staying strong, and a really quick glove down in that butterfly, gets down on his stomach and clears the puck away.
And it was so impressive for Panzika to regain control of that puck because Curry got complete stick on the puck but wasn't unable to get it out of harm's way, and Panzika just does such a great job using that speed to catch up to the puck.
Yeah, Panzika just a stellar freshman, for the Potsdam Bears last season, and now as a sophomore showing off that speed and really great balance to even stay on his skates there. But again, a good opportunity for Potsdam, but that's one you really want to find the back of the net because, as I said earlier, time's starting to run out.
Quick shot by Zweig, but instead the Lakers clear, and Spinks 1-on-3 in the offensive zone, just trying to get his time for his line mates to come out there. Back on the forecheck is Spink, and a great job by him to force Tyler Young to lose the puck, but Claire right there with it for the Potsdam Bears. Claire entering the zone 1-on-4, as the Lakers actually took a penalty on that one, and Tyler Curry will go to the box. Terranova with it now. Hesitates in the shot, back over, shot, rebound out in front for Claire on the backhand, can't find it, and Carter Allen sits him down behind the net. Staying with it is Farrell, who can't quite control the puck, but instead his line mate Zweig will keep it. Carter Allen back out in front, and Spinky able to collect that one. If he wasn't there, it could have been a chance the other way, or rather a chance for Potsdam with a backdoor cut.
Yeah, really good opportunity there once again for Potsdam, and I'll tell you what, Rob Clare, a guy that transferred from Oswego State, probably due to maybe a lack of ice time, and obviously at Potsdam he's going to be one of the stars on that team, leading the team in scoring so far this season. But with Claire, he's a guy that, he might have gotten some ice time this year on this Oswego State team, but, a guy that now is shining with this Potsdam team.
Yeah, one guy that hasn't done too much for this Potsdam team just yet is Michael MacArthur. More of a grinder, a third, fourth line guy that has really played his role. He's not a scorer, but very solid defensively and on that forecheck as McMillan trying to exit the zone can't do so. With a minute left to go on this Tyler Curry penalty, Lakers trying to kill off yet another penalty that they've taken here. With a couple in that second period. As it squirts back over for Richardson. Firing shot back down low for Brett Horn behind the goal line. Panzica comes away with it now. Novik bullying him behind the net. But the Potsdam Bears looked like they were able to come away with it, but the referee knocks it down for Gillespie. Ed Molinaro the other way for Novik. 2-on-3, back the other way, back out in front. Gillespie can't find it, and he had a chance as slow to get up was Richardson. So the referee blows the whistle dead. There might have even been a penalty as well. Can't quite see the call.
Yeah, I heard the ref just yell out 16 white, so that's going to be Mike Gillespie going to the box, which a really tough penalty to take there with, a lot of hustle going down now, going 5-on-3 for Potsdam. I think they're going to maybe take a timeout here, maybe not, but it might be a good chance to talk it over because this is the chance for Potsdam to get another goal into the back of the net.
9:33 left to go in this third period. Lakers up 4-1. But for the Potsdam Bears, you've got a 33 seconds of 5-on-3 play with Gillespie going to the box. And the referee still talking it over with Potsdam, not quite sure what's going on here. It does look like Gillespie is in the box. Might have been an interference call in front of the net, in front of Pagluka. But really a disappointing break for the Lakers and Gillespie, who looked really solid and really strong discipline-wise through this game and also last game.
Yeah, he did, and that's not really one of those penalties I think that Coach Ed Gosik's going to be too mad about, just because Gillespie had a really good run, almost had a 3-on-2 opportunity going the other way, and it looks like it's going to be Vance and Allen out there as the defenseman, maybe Zizek as that third skater for the Lakers, but Vance and Allen definitely the two defensemen you want for a 5-on-3 opportunity.
And I'm trying to read the lips of the referee who's speaking to Coach Gosik, who doesn't seem too happy about the call, trying to get the explanation here. John Whitelaw, assistant coach John Whitelaw there as well. But the referee skating away, and it looks like it's going to be Charlie Pelnick going into the box as well. I'm not quite sure what that might be, but nonetheless, it is 3-on-2 or 3-on-5 power play for the Potsdam Bears.
Yeah, just a weird sequence there. Pelnick now finds himself in the box. Now 3 Lakers in the box, but still 3 on the ice.
And it's Potsdam with almost a shot by Terranova, hesitates on the one-timer as they're looking to set up Terranova on that one-timer from the center point shot. Great block. Another one, hesitates, and fanning on that one is Tyler Young. Lakers clear as we hear the penalties. And it sounded like there was a 10-minute misconduct as well for Gillespie hitting from behind. So it looks like that's why Pelnick's in the box to serve that 2-minute minor for Gillespie. Potsdam resetting as it was Farrell's fire back down low, and Tanner Spink will enter the zone as the Lakers call off their first penalty. Back out in front for Terranova, can't corral it. And Potsdam wants to set up shop here on the 5-on-4, but instead it's 2-on-2 the other way. Spink has Zizek, gets it over to Spink. Got Zizek crossing, shot, scores! Tanner Spink, short-handed, nets his first of the season.
Great job there by Oswego State, 2-on-1, but the issue there for Potsdam, you cannot let that extra skater get on the ice and get going down the ice. You'll see on the replay here, just a fantastic job there by Tanner Spink. He gets down the ice, gets the pass from Zizek. He says, decision time right there at the face-off dot, and instead he goes up and over, and a great job to get that one past Pagluka, going to the opposite side, and really just a perfect shot there by Tanner Spink.
And the goal is significant to Tanner Spink especially, because he's someone that last season played a lot with Travis Broman and Passero, one of the top lines for the Lakers. Didn't do all that much, which was kind of surprising. Only scored 4 goals in what I thought would have been a breakout season. And for Tanner Spink to net his first goal in the 3rd game of the season, look for him to get on a bit of a run. He's got so much talent, and now Coach Gosik kind of converting him to a special teams machine on the penalty kill and on the power play as well, that second unit.
Yeah, just a fantastic shot there, and obviously a short-handed goal there for the Lakers, something they specialized in last season.
Lakers clear that one down with 55 seconds to go on the Gillespie 2-minute minor. Of course, Charlie Pelnick will exit the box due to Gillespie's 10-minute misconduct as the Potsdam Bears look to go the other way with it now. Panzica unable to enter the zone as he was caught standing still. And Panzica enters the zone, but again, no speed there, so letting Novik fire it down below to the goal line.
And you can really, Matt, feel the energy of this crowd, the energy of this Oswego State team in this third period. They entered only up 2-1, now up 5-1, and probably arguably the best period of hockey they played this season.
Back over is Michael MacArthur, fires it out in front. Nick Alfieri can't quite find it as Emerson knocks him down quite a bit. Now behind the net with his Alfieri once more. 2-on-1 as Sullivan comes away with it at the half wall, and he'll fire at the length of the ice. Just about do it for this penalty kill for the Lakers with 7 seconds left, and Potsdam in no hurry to enter the zone.
Yeah, great job recovering here for Oswego State.
We're actually throw it down to our sideline reporter, James Gattato. James, what did you see on that goal?
Thanks, guys. A short-handed goal? Are you kidding me? What a play by Tanner Spink. And we talked about those penalties hurting the Lakers, but Spink just did not seem to carry against that short-handed goal. And gentlemen, let me tell you something. If this is what they look like this early on in the season, well, I'm excited to see what they look like at the end of the season. That's for sure. Back to you guys.
Thank you, James. And of course, this penalty kill nearly perfect aside from their goal they gave to Robert Clare in that second period. Towards the end of the period, I should say, as well, as Tyler Curry picks up it on his own goal line and looks to exit the zone for the Lakers. He's got Broman, he'll chip it in and go on that forecheck as Pagluka playing it, and he'll cover up here with 6:54 remaining in this third period. Lakers up 4, and it seems like Potsdam might have put the nail in the coffin on Potsdam.
Yeah, good job there. And after that play there, Travis Broman kind of skated up to Pagluka, might have said something. That's just something you don't want to see after the whistle. Already up 4 goals. It's really not necessary to get up in the goaltender's face and try to maintain, stay out of the box. Obviously, 1 10-minute penalty already on Gillespie. You've got to stay out of the box and stay clean going into next weekend.
And of course, that's the type of game that Travis Broman loves to play. That physicality, icing the goaltender and trying to get him off his game a bit more. As LeBlanc picks it up, he's got time in the slot. Drops it back with Fletcher, can't find it. But a good job by LeBlanc and Panzica as they battle for the puck. Panzica trying to beat out the icing, but can't do so as Vance touches up first.
Yeah, interesting to see how the Lakers kind of attack these last 6.5 minutes. Are they going to kind of sit back and be conservative, or are they going to keep pushing that forecheck, pushing that tempo that's really gotten them this 5-1 lead? Really no sense really in laying off the gas too much here. Up 4 goals, but you want to kind of keep that momentum going into next weekend.
Colton Fletcher out there for the faceoff alongside Brett Horn, the opposition in Potsdam. And Potsdam looked like they lost the faceoff, but still able to get the clear. As it feels like seems like they're on a bit of a penalty kill despite being 5-on-5.
Yeah, and that's a testament to this Lakers offense and their defensemen that have really carried the load here so far.
Scorpio finds Fletcher along the boards, and he'll chip it in deep to let Scorpio go to work. Can't quite get there as Richardson comes away with it, but instead back out in front from LeBlanc for Fletcher's shot. Good save by Pagluka and no rebound there.
Yeah, really similar play almost to that goal that Fletcher scored earlier where he's just in that high slot. He takes a good high shot, but that time Pagluka really no blockers in front of him. His vision was pretty clear and straightforward, so he was able to glove that one.
And with 6:07 remaining here in this third period, Lakers haven't quite found a full 60 minutes, but this third period's been just incredible for them, hasn't it, Luke?
Yeah, maybe a full 20 minutes is even better if you're Coach Gosick, especially building that momentum and avoiding that kind of third period slump they've had so far this season.
Do you think Clark clears the zone and finds his way over to Salao, as he looks to go to work? Knocked off the puck by Novik, and McMillan looks to go the other way now. McMillan leaves it for Sullivan, entering the zone. He's got a goal to his name already tonight. Leaving it for Monaro and Zizek. Neither of the two come away with it, and a heavy hit by McMillan, pinching in, but it's a 2-on-2 the other way with it. Salao, and a great stick by Novik to knock him off the puck. Salao gets it back to the point for Clark. Looking for Terranova, can't quite find him, but instead Claire picks up shot, goes up and out of play. And the Lakers, with a great job getting back, look to be either Carson Vancher or Jody Sullivan, to avoid the 1-on-2.
Yeah, and you love those big hits, obviously, if you're the crowd and the team gets riled up there. But McMillan there, if you want to take that hit, you got to make sure you get back on defense. And luckily, I believe it was Novik that was down there doing a good job.
And really just an unnecessary pinch. As you see him coming down there, McMillan lays the body, but no one there to cover the point for him. And really just an unnecessary play to make. No play on the puck, just playing the body, and you love to see that physicality, as you said, Luke. But at the same time, you got to play it smart, up 4 goals with just about 5 minutes left to go in this game. Pagluka sticks it away from Tanner Spink, looking to net his second goal of the game, second of the period as well. And instead, the Potsdam Bears, just able to exit the zone is Tyler Young. He's got Farrell with it now. Back out across, deflected, just going wide, and a good chance for Young. Back to the point, and overshot by Winnicates. Claire looking for the deflection, got too much on that one as he forced it behind the net. Hansen sticking away, battle out in front, and the puck squirts over to Spink as he recoils and sets it over for Tyler Curry.
Oswego State's done a great job protecting Cedric Hansen. Hasn't had a lot of shots on him. He's made the saves that he's had to. As you see, Everson there lays a big hit.
Yeah, and John Venter's slow to get up, but he's still on the ice here as that second pair unit defensively for Potsdam. Looked pretty solid, but again, for this Oswego State team, just striking often and so quickly. That quick fire offense as Potsdam's got a 3-on-2 the other way. And lost in the skates of Guyman, and the Lakers have another chance. Molinaro got a chance for a breakaway. Fletcher behind him, holds up, shot, scores! Joey Molinaro goes 5-hole, and the Lakers put this one well out of reach.
Yeah, we mentioned this might be the best period of Lakers hockey we've seen so far in that time. Molinaro, this went 5-hole right there on Pagluca. It's been a rough night for the sophomore goaltender, kind of starting his starting career here with Potsdam. You see Molinaro, great burst of speed. He has Fletcher, he sees that, but he sees that 5-hole opening, and just great awareness there by Joey Molinaro.
And so much time and space for Molinaro. It looked like he holds up and just avoids the defender. When you have that much time and space, there's no chance Pagluca can make the save. That full 6'4" frame just has trouble getting down into protecting the 5-hole on a shot from point blank that close. As it's Ethan Clark entering the zone. Back along the half wall, fires it in deep. Hansen trying to play it, can't quite get there. As the Potsdam Bears seem to find new life, but again, it might be too little too late with just about 3.5 minutes remaining in the game, down 5 goals. Fletcher with it now, entering the zone. Makes a move, gets a big breakaway shot. Great save by Pagluca. And Fletcher might want that one back, but a great save by Pagluca. Horn with it now, chipping it in deep as the rest of his team goes for a line change.
Yeah, what a nifty move there by Colton Fletcher. He's just been so good in those tight little spaces so far this season. And that time a good dangle, and that could have been another goal, but Pagluca was on his toes.
Broman cuts in, a shot, another one goes in! Travis Broman quick on the rebound, and now it's really getting out of hand, 7-1.
Yeah, Travis Broman knew what he had there. He had the breakaway, that explosiveness, that speed. He went right to the handshake line. It really seemed like a matter of time before Travis Broman found the back of the net this season, and a great job there on the replay, off the pad, and just great job by Broman to get in the right place at the right time. Almost a self-assist there for Broman, but a goal in the box score for Broman, his first of the season.
And that really just shows his hockey IQ. You see with guys like Sidney Crosby, I think John Tavares had a goal like that as well, where you're 1-on-2, but you have that speed, that extra gear that the defense hasn't quite seen yet, so you play it off the rebound and just explode between splitting the D, and a great effort by Travis Broman as he nets his first of the season. Back the other way with it now is the Lakers. McMillan at the point, hesitates, looks for a shot, finds one, looking for Brown, but instead it goes behind the net. John Venter looking to escape the zone, can't evade Pissarro as he's got Brown and Broman out in front. Shot, scores! Another one, says Travis Broman as he goes 5-hole once more.
This is just getting insane. I would not be surprised if Pagluca gets pulled from this game, but Travis Broman, once again, right place, right time, and that's just that spatial awareness. The Lakers absolutely pouring it on, as we see on the replay here. Another great job by Travis Broman in front of the net. A little bit of a weird angle there on that shot, but a great job just spinning, going 5-hole on the defender, and then getting it past Pagluca. And Travis Broman, only a matter of time before he got his second goal of the season. Travis Broman, he impressed so much in his freshman year, and now pouring it on this Potsdam Bears team.
Yeah, and Pagluca gets pulled in favor of the freshman Connor Green. And for the Bears, you know, you hang your goaltender out to dry so many times. It's only a matter of time before you really pay for it. And there, you've just got to be faster on the puck. I mean, you can't let the forward beat you in that opportunity. You had 2 guys back defensively for the Bears as the game really out of reach here with 2:25 left to go. Lakers up 8-1. Zizek still pouring it on here on the forecheck. Jody Sullivan joins him as well. Behind the net, Jody Sullivan back out in front, looking for Curry, jumps up on him, can't make a play, as it's Nick Alfieri to exit the zone and does so. Nick Alfieri off from Ben Thompson. Can't corral that one, but instead it's Nick Alfieri who will dump it in Cedric Hansen playing that one behind his own net.
How about this Lakers third period? We talked about their third period struggles. 6 goals in this third period against Potsdam, just absolutely pouring it on. And this is really, I think, the best we've seen this Lakers team in terms of cohesion, passing, knowing where to be at all times. And they've worked so well together, all 4 lines tonight, as Broman notches that goal for the first line.
There you see Connor Green, the freshman out of Newport Richey, Florida, and really a good chance for him to touch with the puck. And you talk about these third period struggles, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what you mean by that is that they just didn't play a full 60, got a little sloppy in those third periods against Plattsburgh and Cortland, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, especially in that Cortland game. 2 goals in the third period, and none allowed in that Plattsburgh game, but still a couple opportunities the Lakers didn't like, especially in their defensive zone.
Back on Colton Fletcher looking for a second in the game, but instead it squirts back for Pelnick at the point. LeBlanc with it now along the half wall. Finds Pelnick, fires a shot on net, just deflected wide by Terranova, and looked like that could have skipped in if he didn't get all of it. Back for LeBlanc behind the net. Point for McMillan, can't quite get it, but instead it goes the other way for Horn. Horn battling alongside Scorpio behind the net, and he'll get it out to Nate Zweig. Zweig shoulders off Fletcher, still with the puck, just able to exit the zone, but Scorpio first on that one, and he'll leave it for LeBlanc to enter the zone and dump it in.
Yeah, 1 minute to go here. Oswego State just keeping that forecheck pressure on. The crowd wants 9, and I think this Lakers offense might want a 9th goal as well.
Zweig avoids a hit from LeBlanc and sends him to the ice as this forecheck back to work. Mitch Emerson on it now along the corner boards. Looking for McMillan, can't quite get it there. So instead it's Terranova back the other way with it. Looking for a pass, can't find it. Broman gets a chance, 3-on-2. Broman dances his way through, and a good save by Connor Green, who's knocked over by Broman once more. And Broman can't quite get a shot off, but the pass or the deflection off his skates. And a good job by Connor Green getting in the action.
And imagine if Travis Broman was able to get that hat trick. I believe it would have been in what, like 7 minutes or less for Travis Broman and a hat trick, which would have been absolutely incredible to see. But just a nifty move by Broman, and he's looked so strong in these first 3 games. Finally gets on the board, and now they'll see if they can get him going hot in the next weekend as well.
And a couple of Lakers fans would have gone home a little bit cold, throwing away those toques,
yeah,
those hats.
Beanies, if you will.
As the Lakers win that draw, Carson Vance with it now. 30 seconds remaining and clearly all but over, up 8-1. An offensive explosion in this third period for the Lakers. As Spink comes away with it. Travis Broman alongside with 20 seconds, trying to regain the puck. It's Broman along the corner boards now, and he'll dump it back down behind the net for Spink. Spink with Vance calling for it. Spink takes the shot. It looks like it's blocked in front by Terranova, or Panzika, excuse me. I know he evades a hit, but again, with 5 seconds left, puck in the Lakers zone. The Lakers will take this one 8-1 and improve to 3-0 in conference play.
Yeah, you have to be thrilled with this Oswego State start. 8-1 win, a 3-0 record, and most importantly, 3-0 in SUNYAC play.
And that ever important 3-0, and you bank those points early and often if you're the Lakers. With Geneseo struggling out of the gate against Potsdam, they tie that one. You know, the Lakers right now, you've got a point up on Geneseo. It's a team you're facing in a week or two, and that's a tough, scary matchup for both teams.
Yeah, and also, of course, Brockport on Friday will be another big matchup, but now Oswego State, no losses on the year, 3 wins, which is absolutely fantastic for this Oswego State team.
Yeah, and as the handshake line goes on, it doesn't seem like there's any ill will between the two teams, and they could have got chippy late in the game with the score increasing so much.
And we're going to take a quick break here on Hockey Night in Oswego. But once again, after the break, it'll be Brian Rudman and the guys taking us through the post game. Lakers win 8-1.
And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the post-game show right here on WTOP 10 as it's the Lakers grabbing that big 8-1 victory over the Potsdam Bears. Once again, Michael Morano, Nick Ketter, I'm Brian Rudman. And guys, those Lakers really poured it on in that third period.
Are you sure it was 2-1 going into the third period, Robin? We're going to take a look here at all the goals. Jeff Solo getting it started for the Lakers, 11 seconds in. Then we got a great pass by Molinaro. Jody Sullivan making it 4-1 Lakers. And then Tanner Spink, 2-on-1. Gets it going here right past the goalie, and that'll make it 5-1.
Then we have Joseph Molinaro on the break. A hesitation. He had Fletcher with him, but he said, I'll take it myself. And then Travis Broman goes in, takes a shot, gets his own rebound, and scores again. Broman, shortly after that, he puts another one on the board. Goes 5-hole right there. No help for the Potsdam goaltender. Let's take a look at that. Goal, Oswego score.
And you look at all the Oswego scores. What allowed their offense to really get going tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, every guy stepping up here. I mean, Roman scoring the last two with very limited time. They're almost getting the hat trick very late in this game here. A lot of guys stepping up. A great sign going into next week against Brockport.
Now, what was the key in the third period? Because they only scored 2 through the first 2 periods. A scoreless second period. What really allowed them to turn it on in the third?
Well, something head coach Ed Gosick must have said in the locker room, because it was an absolute explosion of offense from the Lakers right off the first faceoff. Solo with that goal, that really opened things up for the Lakers. They had great passing, and they created a lot of traffic indeed.
Absolutely. We're now going to send it down to our ringside reporter, James Catato, who caught up with the first star of the game, Travis Broman. James.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with the first star of the game, Travis Broman. Travis, an emphatic 8-1 win to cap off Whiteout Weekend. How you feeling after getting on the score sheet this season?
It feels pretty good, I just keep battling with these boys, keep getting that chemistry going. That's what helped me get these points, so I thank them. And that's about it. I mean, Whiteout was fun. Today was fun. It's a great way to end the weekend.
You guys at some points looked in mid-season form today. What did Coach tell you in the locker room, and how are you guys feeling moving forward?
We feel pretty good. I mean, obviously with that 3-0 shutout at Whiteout, and then today's win, I mean, we feel pretty confident that we're just going to keep going, keep battling each day and getting better.
Awesome. Thanks, Travis.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, James. Now moving on to Travis Broman, he really came up big for the Lakers in that second period. He's expected to be a big key factor for this Lakers team this year. What have you seen out of him?
Yeah, he's been a physical presence for this team all year round. Everyone in the wheelhouse was expecting something from him this year, and this game was something that he is going to look back on as something to go forward with those 2 goals and a lot of big hits. This Lakers team was very aggressive.
Yeah, you talked about aggression. What happened with the Lakers? A lot of penalties today.
Yeah, it seemed like they couldn't really crack down on the discipline aspect of this one. They had as many penalties as they did goals, and I don't know if that's a great sign or not coming into this one with 8 goals on this one. I mean, that's something you need to work on, because that was really a big problem until you started pouring the goals on there. I mean, it was 2-1. You gave up a couple, I believe it was 6 penalties, so it became a big factor. But then when the offense started picking up, we started thinking it was less of a factor. But that's obviously something you want to take down as we take a look at the Oswego penalties. I mean, everyone getting on the board here. Charlie Pelnick with a couple there with a holding and too many players on the ice as well. Michael Gillespie with a hitting from behind that conducted into a bigger penalty there. So a lot of guys getting into it, and that's something they need to crack down. They must be more disciplined if they want to go into next week against Brockport.
Now moving to Potsdam, they had their fair share of penalties as well. It certainly couldn't have helped them as they were down by that many goals.
Well, you have Joseph Richardson with a hooking, Bryce Farrow got the tripping, and Ventura with a hooking, and then a 10-minute misconduct for Sean Wintakis. And that's just what happens when you try to play a tough game against a physical team like the Lakers. You're going to run into penalties. But, I mean, Potsdam did a good job staying out of the box for the most part. The Lakers really had the majority of the penalties in this game.
Now, how did the Lakers correct this? Because, like you said, 8 penalties. What do they need to correct going into next weekend?
You just need to be more disciplined. Some of the penalties they had to take there, you kind of had to take because it was maybe going to result in a Potsdam goal. Some of them were smart, some of them not so much. Too many men on the ice, something you got to fix up there. A lot of it's mental. You just can't let that pile up, because once you start piling up, a lot more opportunities become created with the other teams there, and it becomes more of a factor heading into the rest of the game.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll have more post-game coverage for you right here. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. You're watching the post-game show right now. Lakers 8-1 over the Bears once again. Michael Morano, Nick Ketter, I'm Brian Rudman. Guys, let's take a look at how the teams compared period to period, because Oswego really ran away with it in the third.
Yeah, it was really a tale of different periods in this game. You saw a lot of different Oswego teams from period to period. 41 shots on goal for the Lakers, 21 for Potsdam. Obviously, the Lakers do dominate when they have the lead in shots on goal. Power plays, the Lakers couldn't get it, but they certainly have no shortage of scoring. Face-offs, the Lakers had that the entire game, but they were good from period to period. The second was very shaky. The third period, they definitely recovered, though, and I think that's very important going forward.
Yeah, I think they definitely turned on the Jets in the third period. They're not looking back. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better period if you're Oswego, especially going into next week. We talked about it was all about how they finished, and they honestly couldn't have finished on a better note.
Now moving to the Potsdam goalie, Michael Pagluka, he really fell apart in the third. What happened to him?
Yeah, I think a lot of that had to do with defense, because in the third period you saw a lot of those goals from the Lakers. It's a 2-on-1 rush or a 1-on-1 rush. He can't do a lot about that, especially with the 2-on-1s. The Lakers had a guy there that the pass could have gone to, but the Lakers had the option to pass, as I said, but they could take the shot as well, and that's very hard to defend against when it's 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 against you as a goalie. So Pegluka, it's a night he's going to want to forget for sure.
Now, obviously not a great night in the crease for Pegluka, but what happened to the team as a whole? Because it's certainly not just one man's fault.
It seemed like they just crumbled under pressure. I mean, they really were just in the grasp of the win here, down 2-1 going into the third period. I think the pressure obviously got to him, the atmosphere there around him. They're on the road trying to get this win, and this crowd was just so into it, and they just fell apart goal after goal after goal after goal. It just kind of kept piling up for them. So when you lose a couple of them, if you gave up 1 or 2 goals, it's kind of hard to come back from. They just keep piling up.
Yeah, now moving to the other side of things, Cedric Hansen certainly looked strong in net for the Lakers. How was he able to get the job done?
Well, he did, only allowing 1 goal here. He made a lot of good saves, a lot of easy saves for the Lakers. When the Lakers defense did kind of falter, he was there to help them. It looked a lot like David Richey's performance in the third period against Plattsburgh. And that's something that the Lakers gotta love, because you still have the decision between Hansen and Richey.
Now let's take a look at Cedric Hansen's game stats. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better game from him, especially when Richey doesn't dress and you want to have Hansen in the back of the net here. It was really great job by Hansen so far. The only goal that he gave up was not really kind of his fault, defensive breakdown. Couldn't really see the puck, so, I mean, great performance by Hansen to back up Richey.
Now, guys, looking at who's going to be starting in goal for the Lakers, because obviously just 1 goal allowed this entire whiteout weekend. If you're head coach Ed Gosek, who's your guy going forward?
Well, it's a really tough decision here. I mean, both goalies played phenomenal. I mean, I think you got to give it to Richey for the next game. It's a big game, the teddy bear toss with Brockport. That's one of the top teams in the SUNYAC. I would just say Richey because of experience. I mean, but if Richey does start to falter, Hansen is right there, and he can play almost the same.
I do agree with Ketter, but I don't think it's going to be as close as he thinks. I think it's just going to be Richey, no doubt. I really like what Richey's been doing kind of under pressure here, giving up a shutout in the whiteout. Couldn't really give a better performance on such a bigger stage as in whiteout. So I think now going against Brockport, I think you need him in between in the goal.
Absolutely. Now let's look at what's been going on around the SUNYAC tonight. Obviously, we've talked about it all night long. What are we looking at in the SUNYAC, and how does this have an impact on Oswego?
Well, an 8-2 win for Geneseo, that is huge. They wanted to move up the SUNYAC rankings a little bit. Obviously, Oswego with the big win, Plattsburgh with a big win, also Morrisville. So the SUNYAC rankings really shaking up, Mike.
Yeah, Geneseo definitely, took on a lead just like Oswego did, kind of pouncing on Canton like that. Again, Morrisville, one of the bigger surprises so far in this one. They might, be a big shakeup. They're going to really shake up these standings.
Absolutely. Now that's all the time that we have for today, but be sure to come back next Friday as Oswego will host the Brockport Golden Eagles in the teddy bear toss. For Michael Morano, Nick Hetter, and our entire crew here at WTOP 10, we say thank you and have a good night, but also be sure to tune in tomorrow at 10:30 for Wheelhouse. Once again, thank you for watching. Have a great night, everybody.